Hello. I don't know, YouTube is kind of weird. You have to like properly end the stream on YouTube, and then you have to create a new stream, and then that's what I did. So I don't know, I hope you guys can see this. I don't know if it's like a refresh thing, or I don't know if it's one of those things where you have to click out and click back in, but let me know what your experiences are. I hope you guys can see this. But hello there, everyone. How's it going? We're streaming again. The reason why I had to chop it up is because I forgot to record it because I'm a dumb head. But yeah, oh yeah, it does restart the stream again. So we're back at 2 viewers. Hello. It's fine. Next thing that we're gonna do, we're gonna read this document by Ben Rottenborn, and that's gonna be very interesting. Let me refresh. Man, I think I have to redo this chat too. Ooh, YouTube. Find a better way to do this, YouTube. Let's do YouTube Studio, and then my channel. Oh, go live. Okay, and then I pop this one out. I had to find it on your page. Back in action? Really? Okay, hi. We're back. Does anyone have the old chat back up? Can you tell? You have to click back in. Really? Lame. Boo. Okay, it's because I messed up. I won't mess up this time. There will be no messing up. All right, we're good. Yeah, we're back now. Hello. Okay, so you have to redo the whole thing. You have to click out and click back in. But hey, everyone, welcome back. How's it going? I hope no one's sitting there with a black screen on. Hi, Hannah. How are you doing today? Welcome back, Richard, Wildseed, Tim. Hello. So, in the first part of the stream, we read the very interesting amicus curiae document that was in support of Amber Heard. And that was very interesting indeed. You know, more brain-numbing BS, in my opinion. Now we're gonna go to it's not gonna get any better, to be honest, but we have a document that's prepared by Mr. Benjamin Rottenborn, and I was a little bit excited because we haven't heard of Benjamin Rottenborn in a little bit. He's been kind of MIA and just probably working behind the scenes. Elena's been on the forefront, and she's already, you know, she's been nicked. She's not on the team anymore, and we might see more of Elaine. We'll see, because Bruce Rivers does think that they might throw Elaine under the bus. I think they might too. Wow, that sounded really bad. It's all good. He has learned about the sexting. Was he the one that questioned Johnny Depp about sexting or something? Or what was the meme with that? Oop. All right, y'all. So now we have, this was actually submitted in beginning of December 2nd, and huge kudos to Depp Dive. If you guys ever need any resources or anything, deppdive.net has a lot of really great stuff, a lot of things to refer back to, and this is where I got the documents. So thank you so much. Huge shout out. I think there's also another document that's been floating out there, is Johnny Depp and his team, their response to the amicus curiae, and I don't have access to that, but when I do, I'll definitely hop on stream and read it to you guys, because you know, these documents can be very interesting. Some of it will just kind of blow your mind away, and sometimes it's just kind of like, what is going on? And sometimes you're just like, wow, I can't believe they're making this argument. They're lawyers, but hey, you know, you do what you got to do, I guess. You got to do what you got to do and see what works. Anyways, hello. Welcome back. How are y'all doing today? Oh, you have it. How did you get it? Did you contact the Court of Virginia Appeals? Court of Appeals in Virginia? Because I was gonna call the clerk's office, but I was like, oh, but like I don't know ask them for it, because like they're probably really busy, and it's like, hi, I'm a YouTuber, and you know, I just like to talk about the case, and I just like to read it to my subscribers. Can you send it to me? And like, I'm sure they're really fucking busy. I don't know. Oh, did you? Oh, cool. I will be sure to credit whoever it is that you got it from. But yeah, feel free to send it over. I do want to read the Ben Rottenborn stuff too as well. Are you in my Discord, or do you want to email it? It's up to you. Whatever works for you. Or you can drop a link in the chat as well. That's fine. Oh God, my feet are so sweaty. I feel like I shouldn't sit like this because the sweat is just getting on my chair. Oh, all right, y'all. So we have in the Court of Appeals of Virginia, this is John C. Depp, the second appellant, and Amber Laura Heard, appellee. We have the brief of appellee. So this is prepared by Mr. Roddenborn. Oh man, this shouldn't be too bad. I know it says there's like, oh, you guys can see how many pages there are. It's okay. It's not that bad. It will be fine. We'll be completely fine. But you know what? Before we get into this, I feel like we should just, man, I don't know. Should we take like a little breather? Should we take a little mind breather? I'm going to YouTube really quick. YouTube.com. Let's see what's going on in the YouTube world. Court TV stuff. Oh, you know what? There was something that... I don't know. There's a lot of really crazy cases that are going on right now on Court TV. Ugh. Maybe not. Maybe we'll get flagged or something. I don't know. All right, we'll just go back to this. Just kidding. Just kidding. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We are going to read... Oh, you sent in Discord? Oh, cool. Thank you. I shall save it. Oh, yes. This is it. Cool. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Who should I credit for this document? Let me download this. Open file. Hello. Save. Downloads. Yes, please. Thank you. All right, cool. Hey, I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Brandon. I appreciate... Oh my God. Who made this? When you think it's weekend, but it's only Wednesday. Oh my God, that's hilarious. By the way, don't forget, join the Discord if you haven't already. Do it. Oh, Popcorn Planet? Oh, cool. Thank you. I would be sure to credit Popcorn Planet. Thank you so much. All right, y'all. So here's what we got. In the Court of Appeals of Virginia, let me scroll down a little bit. We have the table of contents. You know what? We're not going to spoil it ourselves. Let's just read. Let's just get right into it. So this is one of those things where you can just have me in the background. I'll read to y'all. You can do your thing, clean, multitask. I don't know. Take a bath, take a shower, whatever it is, it's your thing. Take a shit, whatever. Statement of the case. I'm going to zoom in a little bit, though, just to make the font a little bit bigger and better on my eyes, and because I don't feel like wearing glasses. Let's do this one. Okay. Statement of the case. During the course of their relationship, appellant John C. Depp II AB'd his wife, appellee Amber Laura Heard, physically, verbally, emotionally, psychologically. Mr. Depp promised her that if she ever left him, he would make her think of him every single day by ruining her career and life. Again, out of context, it sounds really crappy, but we need the context here. Come on now. After she attained a protective order against him and commenced divorce proceedings, Mr. Depp did everything in his power to keep that promise. In describing Ms. Heard around the time of the divorce, Mr. Depp stated, "She's begging for total global humiliation. She's gonna get it. And I will stop at nothing." I don't know. The way they did the ... and the way they did like the 3 exclamation marks is comical. So again, the reason why he said this was because she did the public appearance with a bruise on her face, got the DVTRO. Months later, this is restraining order, by the way, okay? If you get a restraining order, it means you're not going to be near that person. But months later, she met up with him in a hotel room. It was just him. It was just her. And I think like they had a mutual friend that was like outside or something like that, okay? That totally shows how scared she was of him. Not only that, but when Johnny Depp was like, "Dude, what are you doing? Why are you lying? Why are you doing this?" And she's like there, she's like, this is when she does like the crazy laugh. I think she does like the crazy laugh, and she's like, "Oh, what are you gonna do? Read a book, or something like that." And then that's why he said that she's begging for total global humiliation, because at some point he's gonna call her out on all her BS. Mr. Depp has marshaled agents to advance his global campaign, including his lawyer, Adam Waldman. I mean, who else has Amber Heard hired in order to advance her global campaign? Mr. Depp retained Mr. Waldman, asking Amber for context. Why are they acting like the whole trial is about revenge? Hi, Black Pope. They're just trying to rewrite history, hoping that we just forget, I guess. What counts as a valid reason for requesting the documents? I started requesting more of them, but I'm not sure if hyperfixation or boredom will be accepted. The man was fighting to get his life back. Turd has hired everyone under the sun for her global campaign. This is hilarious. Hey, Toybox, how are you doing today? Yeah, I just think it's really funny how the shit that they're giving to Johnny Depp, it's like things that she's done, but 10 times worse. Mr. Depp retained Mr. Waldman, shortly announcing the world he would stop at nothing to globally humiliate Ms. Heard. Mr. Waldman assists Mr. Depp with publicity, holds himself out to the press as Mr. Depp's lawyer. I'm really glad that Johnny Depp hired Adam Waldman because I felt like, there needed to be someone that was willing to, stoop a little to Amber's level and get at her level and kind of do some shit, because I felt like Mr. Depp was just kind of, doing things I felt like he was just trying to do things the right way while she was kind of doing things the dirty way. And having Adam Waldman continuously call out Amber Heard on Twitter was hilarious. It was a shit show, but it was hilarious. And I was living for every single moment of those tweets. Mr. Waldman assists Mr. Depp with publicity, holds himself out to be the press and Mr. Depp's lawyer, and has been quoted in several articles as stating Ms. Heard as crying out as an AB hoax. Mr. Waldman also works to generate negative press about Ms. Heard. Specifically, Mr. Waldman filed a report with the Los Angeles Police Department. Yeah, apparently he went to the LAPD and was like, I want to, there was about her perjuring and her friends perjuring. Oh man, I think that's hilarious. Alleging Ms. Heard perjured herself and then created a story about his claim by telling the news outlet that LAPD had opened a criminal investigation into perjury by Ms. Heard. The defamatory statement at issue in this appeal comes the last occasion on which Mr. Depp PA'd Ms. Heard on May 21st, 2016. When describing this day to the Daily Mail, a tabloid published the UK and online, Mr. Waldman falsely stated, and we know what quote this is the ambush, the hoax, the spilled a little bit of wine quote, okay? Following Mr. Depp's suit of rising out of Ms. Heard's op-ed, in which she described public backlash faced by women who allege the word, Ms. Heard filed a counterclaim for defamation seeking redress for the reputational harm caused by the statement. And it's so crazy how, she's not even suing Johnny Depp for the things that Johnny Depp did. She's suing Johnny Depp for what Adam Waldman said. Mr. Depp moved for summary judgment, arguing the statement was an opinion and Ms. Heard could not actually prove actual malice. The Circuit Court of Fairfax County correctly denied the motion, finding that the statement was actionable because it was capable of being proven false. The court also denied summary judgment because the record contained disputed facts regarding whether the statement was made with actual malice. The case proceeded to trial, where the circuit court properly excluded the contents of the full article that contained the statement because it constituted inadmissible hearsay and was not necessary for the jury to assess whether the statement was defamatory. At the show, there you go. I asked Amber, I already said Amber is the human embodiment of gum stuck under your shoe. Just can't get rid of her. Cut off Johnny's finger and shite in his bed. She is a real winner. Man knew how to meme, not gonna lie. Yeah. And his references to music and some of the songs were pretty interesting too. I don't know why, but for some reason, this is my chat right now. I don't know why it's not refreshing. Should I refresh it? It just says nope. Should I refresh? Hello? YouTube chat? Refresh cache. Does that work? There you go. I don't know why it was stuck on that for a second there. All right, so we're going to talk about Mr. Waldman, independent contractor, employee, blah, 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 blah. Mr. Depp then tendered several jury instructions regarding his theory that Mr. Waldman was an independent contractor. The circuit court refused these instructions, holding the concept of independent contractor did not apply to this case, and no evidence supported the proposed instructions. Following deliberations, the jury returned a verdict in favor of Ms. Heard with respect to the statement. The circuit court entered judgment in accordance with the verdict and subsequently entered a final order. This appeal followed. The statement of facts. Can we rely on Ben Roddenborn to have actually stated the facts? Let's see what it says. Oh, it already starts off with a lie. Well, actually, the AB could be on Johnny Depp, not on Amber Heard. The AB on May 21st, 2016. Just a reminder, this was the day after his mother passed away too. I don't know. I really feel for this guy. This court views the evidence presented at trial in light most favorable to the prevailing party. So, viewed the evidence at trial established in May 2016, the party's marriage was falling apart due to, oh, we're just blaming everything on Johnny Depp here, due to Mr. Depp's alcoholism, drug use, and the AB of his wife. On May 21st, 2016, it definitely has nothing to do with like the cheating and stuff, right? Like absolutely nothing to cheating on Amber Heard's side and like no, right? Like it's just totally just all Johnny Depp's fault. Right, okay. On May 21st, 2016, the couple had not seen each other for 1 month, but Mr. Depp contacted Ms. Heard and asked if he could come home because his mother had passed away. He told Ms. Heard that he really needed his wife, and while she felt conflicted because the situation hadn't gotten better with Johnny mentally due to his drinking and drug use, she agreed that he could return home. Oh my God! She agreed that he can return home. This is what an interesting way to paint this picture. What an interesting way. It makes it seem like he was kicked out of the house because he was ABing her. And then he's like, I really need you. And she's like, oh man, I'm so conflicted because you're such a bad husband. But you know what? I guess you can return home. Dude, he was just coming by to his penthouse to collect his things so he can go on tour with his bandmates in the next couple of days. Do we have the text? The text messages are here. I feel like we need to read the text messages. Just like resurrected. Oh my God. It's somewhere around here. Yeah, I don't know. The way that they're painting this is very, 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 very interesting. Because I think, here's what happened. I think, is this the right scenario? Let me think. Because at this point, they haven't seen each other since Amber Heard's birthday. She went to Coachella. She got pissed at him for showing up at her birthday late, and it seems like I don't know, I think she just has some severe anger management. Severe anger issues. I've done some things Amber like in the past, kind of crazy, watching her to the side. It's very worrying she hasn't gotten help by now. Trunk of a Honda Civic. Yeah, because Amber is perfect. Wow. When Mr. Depp arrived in the early evening, he was inebriated. He was peaceful at first, but later began talking about a prank he insisted was carried out by one of Ms. Heard's friends, Io. Mr. Depp claimed that Mr. Wright defecated in Ms. Heard's bed so that he would find feces there. Ms. Heard called Mr. Wright and placed him on the speakerphone in an attempt to resolve this matter. Here's the thing. I think Amber did it, and then Io didn't know about it. So when she called Io, Io would have the perfect reaction to like a "what the fuck are you talking about" moment, because it's bizarre. And then by doing that, it makes Johnny Depp feel even more crazier. During the call, Mr. Depp became angry, grabbed the phone, screamed at Mr. Wright, who was a member of the LGBTQIA community. He yelled at the top of his lungs, "You D word, B word," among other expletives and insults, and told Mr. Wright he could have Ms. Heard. Mr. Depp then tossed the phone on the couch and proceeded upstairs. Ms. Heard retrieved the phone and began apologizing to Mr. Wright. Oh, poor Ms. Heard. Mr. Wright, who was also still on speakerphone, knew of Mr. Depp's AB of Ms. Heard on previous occasions, responded, "Amber, get out of the house. Get out of the house now. You're not safe. Get out of the house." Mr. Depp heard this statement while he was on the staircase, bolted down the stairs. Mr. Depp grabbed the phone from Ms. Heard and began berating Mr. Wright again. After he finished screaming at Mr. Wright, Mr. Depp threw the phone at Ms. Heard, who was sitting on the couch. The phone hit Ms. Heard's face, what felt like her eye. Ms. Heard put her head in her hands and began crying, said, "You hit me with the phone." I don't know. Here's the thing. What didn't make sense to me was that if Johnny Depp grabbed the phone from you and started berating your friend, why would you not try to get the phone back? Instead, you just go to the couch and you're just like, okay, I'm just going to sit here quietly until it's over. I don't know. That's kind of weird. That didn't really make sense to me. And then Amber Heard also said that when Johnny threw the phone at her, he pitched it to her like a baseball and threw it at her head. Kind of reminds me of like the Jody thing. Remember how Jody said they were like, "Oh, Jody, how did Travis tackle you?" And she was like, "Oh, he like got down like this and charged at me like a what do you call it again? A wide receiver? What's the people that tackle in football?" He's the elder lord. In response, she could teleport. Stop. See, the funny thing is, if the team and Amber didn't lie about every little thing, it would have made their job easier. See, I try to take that perspective too. Like, what would happen if she wasn't extremely exaggerative with things? Would we believe her? And you know what? I still don't think we would believe her because there were certain accounts from like her friends, her family, like Whitney, mom and dad. Like, I don't know, it just didn't really paint the picture that she was just in this horrendously bad relationship where the AB was on one side, you know? I don't know. I just didn't really see it that way. She's making it seem like she's like a battered woman, you know, battered wife, and she's nothing but loving. And Johnny Depp is the angry guy who does drugs and drinks and comes home and just like beats on her, you know? Like that's just not really the story that seems to be painted, especially when you get the I don't know, just like how like the mom acted, the dad acted, and some of the stuff that the sister have said, and like I don't know. There's too many bad evidence against Amber. In response, Mr. Depp said, "Oh yeah, I hit you, huh?" Then hit Ms. Heard on the top of her head and pulled her off the couch by her hair. Ms. Heard tried to cover her face to protect herself, while Mr. Depp continued to pull her around the room by her hair and mocked her. Referring to her face, he said, "Let me see how bad I hurt you. Let me see it. Let me see how bad I hurt you this time. What if I pull your hair back?" At trial, Ms. Heard introduced numerous photos taken later that night and following the days showing the marks and bruises on her face caused by Mr. Depp throwing her phone at her. So, like I said, the reason why this was just not as really believable, like, I don't know, here's what I think could have happened. I think it's possible that he, like, chucked the phone. Like, I don't know. He said that, like, he chucked the phone behind his back like this. So, like, I think it's possible he could have chucked the phone and, like, it did hit her. I don't know if it did hit her or not. I think it's possible maybe that could have happened. And then when she was like, "Oh my God, you hurt me, you hit me." And, like, to him, he was probably, like, so used to her lying and coming up with these, like, you know, like pity, like, "Oh my God, I'm so hurt." And he was probably just, like, rolling his eyes at this point. So I wouldn't be surprised if he actually went up to her and was just like, "Oh, did I really hurt you? Uh-huh, yeah, let me see it. Let me see what I did. Let me see if I hurt you." Like, I don't know. I felt like him taunting her like this, I could see this happening if he was already dealing with a woman that would make up fake lies about the extent of her injuries, right? Like, remember when he talked about how there was a part where she was trying to break into the bathroom or something, and like, I don't know. Oh no, sorry, this is a different injury thing where like they were fighting, something happened, and she claims that she was bleeding everywhere, and then he checked the napkin later and he realized that it was just like nail polish. Like, I don't know, like if you were dealing with someone as crazy as this, someone who pretended their injuries when they weren't real, at this point, like, I wouldn't be surprised if he was just kind of sick of her. So I wouldn't really be surprised if he was taunting her because he probably thought that she was lying as well. I don't know. Meanwhile, at some point during the altercation, Mr. Wright called 911. The physical altercation subsided when Ms. Heard's friend, Raquel, who lived in the adjacent apartment, entered the room. Ms. Pennington got in between Ms. Heard and Mr. Depp, put her in the hands of Mr. Depp's chest, and said, "Johnny, no." So there's a very interesting theory, by the way, regarding these 911 calls and regarding how Raquel got there and whether or not she was hiding in the closet and stuff. I don't know. You guys should definitely explore that at some point. I think it's on Brian's channel. Crap. What was the channel name again? I know his name is Brian. Oh, Quarterback. Yeah. Thank you. JD is a villain while Age is an angel. Not surprised he was doing drugs. Living with her is a nightmare. Hi from Tennessee. Oh, hello. How are you doing today? What's going on? We did. Yeah, Brennan Chat sent it over to me. So we did. We're reading this one right now. This one was followed by Ben Roddenborn, and we haven't heard from him in a while. Yes, Incredibly Average. Yeah, so I think Incredibly Average, he has a video talking about his theory about, like, what happened, and then, like, compared the 911 calls, and, like, there's a lot of things that didn't really add up. And after I watched that video, I was like, holy shit, it really does seem like a freaking setup. It's crazy. It's wild. Brian's channel is Incredibly Average. Yep. So definitely check out their channel as well. Raquel Pennington, who lived in an adjacent apartment, entered the room. Ms. Pennington got in between Ms. Heard, Mr. Depp, put her hands on Mr. Depp's chest and said, "Johnny, no." Mr. Depp swatted Ms. Pennington's hand off his chest and barreled towards Ms. Heard, who had retreated to the couch. Ms. Pennington then covered Ms. Heard with her arms while Mr. Depp stood over them and screamed, "Amber, get the F up," about 10 times. At that point, two of Mr. Depp's security guards entered the apartment and persuaded Mr. Depp to leave. As Mr. Depp was leaving, he picked up a Magnum wine bottle that he had brought with him and smashed various items of personal property with the bottle. The damaged property included framed photographs, a display of bead necklaces Miss Pennington has prepared for an art show, items in Miss Heard's office such as keepsakes boxes. Mr. Depp also spilled wine in the hallway outside their home. Miss Heard presented evidence of property damage at trial. Here's the thing too, right? Like, this could have been believable had there not been police officers that showed up in the scene and was like, yeah, we saw her face. It looked a bit red, but it looked like it was red from crying. Or if the police officers weren't like, oh, we didn't really see damaged property and we actually walked around. Like, I don't know. This is wild and crazy to me. After Mr. Depp left with his security guards, Miss Heard learned that Mr. Wright called 911 and law enforcement was on their way. Miss Heard panicked because she did not know what law enforcement was going to do when it saw the... Wait, what? Oh my God, wait. Does it say that she cleaned it up or something? Wait. Miss Heard panicked because she did not know what law enforcement was going to do when it saw the property damage to her home. She testified, I wanted to protect Johnny. She testified this? I didn't want him to be arrested. I didn't want him to be in trouble. I didn't want the world to know. I don't want this AB to come out. I mean, we also have the testimony, we have, was it a testimony? Oh no, Josh Drew was the one who I think talked to Adam Waldman, and then maybe in the deposition, it was mentioned that they all got together and talked to Amber's lawyer, Samantha Spector, and she told them what to do, I don't know, man. I don't know. A lot of this just seems kind of there's a lot of weird stuff that happened. Oh, thank you, Erebus. I appreciate the 5. Hello from Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. I have friends that live in Canada. I got to go to Vancouver sometime. Dude, thank you so much for the 5. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. My reaction to this, oh, yeah, that's totally the corgi, oh. She called her attorney, who assists her with entertainment law matters for advice, and he gave her... Oh, I thought it was a she. No? Maybe it's not. The contact information of a domestic relations attorney. Why did I say A-word? As a result of the conversation with a domestic relations attorney, Ms. Heard told the 2 law enforcement officers who responded that she refused to cooperate at this time based on the advice of her attorney. After speaking with Ms. Heard, the officers walked to the apartments that compromised the couple's home, gave Ms. Heard a business card in case she changed her mind about cooperating, and departed. Ooh, are we not going to talk about how the police officers didn't see anything? Are we not going to talk about that testimony? Oh God, this is cherry picking at its finest. Oh my goodness. Once the officers left, Ms. Heard and her friends cleaned up the apartment so the dogs did not step on any broken glass. They did not call a publicist or summon law enforcement. I feel so here's the thing. I think the police officers, didn't they show up an hour after or 45 minutes after? This doesn't make any sense. I feel like you would put the dogs in a different room and not leave the broken glass out. I don't know. There's so many weird inconsistencies. So the moment there's broken glass in my house, I immediately take the dogs, put them in a different room, and then you clean up the glass. You don't wait around for 45 minutes to just have broken glass everywhere and have the dog step on anything. Unless you wanted police to show up and see the broken glass, right? They did not call publicists or summon law enforcement. I mean, that could be debated, right? About an hour after the first pair of officers departed, however, a second pair of officers responded to the couple's home. Ooh. Ms. Heard did not know additional officers has been called until they arrive. Who are they going to say who called? She declined to cooperate with the second pair of officers as well, and they departed after confirming Ms. Heard was safe and without searching the apartment. Oh, they're not going to talk about who called the second pair of officers? Interesting. Yep, 2 sets of police officers showed up that night. Ms. Heard filed a petition for dissolution of the party's marriage at the end of May 2016. She realized after the violence on May 21st that despite all her efforts to help Mr. Depp become clean and sober, because she's just trying to help him, nothing was going to work. Mr. Depp's behavior was now normal and not the exception. She feared that it was going to really end bad for her if she did not leave him. Yep, and we had the body cam footage too. Wild. Ms. Heard also obtained a protective order against Mr. Depp at the end of 2016 so that she can change the locks to their home. She explained that she had begged Mr. Depp's security guards who carried his keys to not let him into the house when he was intoxicated, but they always let Mr. Depp in anyway. As a result, she could not sleep and would often wake up with panic attacks. Ms. Heard's counsel notified Mr. Depp's counsel of her intent to seek a protective order, but Mr. Depp did not appear in court on the day she obtained the order. Wait, are they trying to make it seem like it's his fault for not appearing in court? I thought it was called the ex parte TRO thing, where it's like it's an emergency TRO and like you can get it without telling the other person to show up. Like I don't think Johnny Depp even knew about it. Ever since Miss Heard obtained a protective order and filed for divorce, Mr. Depp has done everything in his power to destroy her reputation, career, and life. No, she did it to herself, but okay. Mr. Depp's intent on retaliation against Ms. Heard. Mr. Depp has deep anger and resentment towards Ms. Heard, which is relevant to this appeal because it demonstrated he was highly motivated to hire Mr. Waldman to defame her. Okay. During their relationship, Mr. Depp became angry with Ms. Heard. He expressed a desire to K-word her. For example, in June 2013, he sent a text to one of his friends stating, "Let's burn Amber." We got these text messages, and honestly, like, yeah, it sounds pretty fucking weird, but I don't know. It's like there needs to be more context surrounding it to make this text look as bad as they want it to look. In response, a friend proposed a drowning test, to which Mr. Depp responded, "Let's drown her before we burn her. I will F her burn corpse afterwards to make sure she is dead." Also, Johnny Depp speaks in like really flowery, like abstract language. The dude's like an artsy guy. After Ms. Heard obtained a protective order and filed for divorce, Mr. Depp announced his plans to retaliate against her. For instance, in June 2016, Depp sent a text message to his sister, who worked in the entertainment industry, stating, "I want her replaced on that WB film." He was referring to Ms. Heard's role in Aquaman, because I think he helped her get into Aquaman. Like, he did so much for her, and here's this woman making false allegations about him. In August of 2016, Mr. Depp described Ms. Heard in a text message to her former assistant that stated, "I'm disgusted that I ever effing touched that scum. Back on Tuesday and then court. We'll hit you when I get back, doll. Come over for a spot of purple and we'll fix her flabby ass nice and good." I think this is like I could have sworn this was a oh, did he send to her assistant? Oh, man, I completely forgot. Her assistant testifying also fucked her as well. Oh, my God. Yo, the way that the assistant described how Amber treated her and how she was treated like trash was like, dude, I feel like it really fucked her. It really fucked her in the beginning. Please find no bruises. Amber apparently never did drugs. She, I think it was found out that she lied about that, like whether or not she did drugs in Coachella. Hey, Taylor, how are you doing today? What's it going? It's dumb, but I chuckle every time you say alligator instead of allegations. Shortly before he met Mr. Waldman, Mr. Depp expressed his hope that Ms. Heard would D-word and said that he would stop at nothing to globally humiliate her in a text message to his entertainment agent, which stated, I mean, this is after everything happened. Honestly, like, this is a man that's like venting, okay? He's like venting to his friend. She's begging for total global humiliation. She's gonna get it. I'm gonna need your text about San Francisco, brother. I'm sorry to even ask, but she sucked Mollis's crooked D word. And I didn't know what this meant until I realized it had to do, he was directing it at Elon Musk. He gave her some shitty lawyers. I have no mercy, no fear, not even an ounce of emotion for what I once thought was love for this gold digging, low life, dime a dozen, mushy, pointless, dangling, overused, again, very flowery language we got here, okay? The man's like a freaking artist or something. Overused flappy fish market. I'm so effing happy she wants to go to fight this out. She will hit the wall hard. I cannot wait to have this waste of a guzzler out of my life. I met a effing sublime little Russian here, which made me realize the time I blew on that 50-cent stripper, I wouldn't touch her with a goddamn glove. I can only hope that karma kicks in and takes the gift of breath from her. Sorry, man, but now I will stop at nothing. Let's see if Mollis has a pair. Come see me face to face. I'll show him things he's never seen before, like the other side of his dong when I slice it off. In light of this evidence, a fact finder could have concluded that Mr. Depp harbors deep animosity towards Ms. Heard and is desperate to destroy her reputation. I mean, I can understand why he feels this animosity towards her. Number 3, Mr. Depp and Mr. Waldman's relationship. Mr. Depp retained Mr. Waldman in October 2016, and he continues to represent him. He serves as Mr. Depp's primary counsel for all his affairs and has assisted Mr. Depp with filing several lawsuits, including actions against Mr. Depp's former business manager, his former attorney, newspaper, and Ms. Heard. Mr. Waldman also assists Mr. Depp with publicity. In February 2020, Mr. Depp and Mr. Waldman met a publicist who works for the Daily Mail. At the meeting or another occasion, Mr. Waldman gave the Daily Mail 2 recordings concerning this case. Mr. Waldman has also provided information about this case to several social media personalities who he calls internet journalists. I'm so glad they leaked the audio. He was present when a journalist for the Rolling Stone interviewed Mr. Depp, and according to the journalist, Mr. Waldman reached out to Rolling Stone about writing an article about Mr. Depp. Do you guys ever read the article, the Rolling Stone article? I don't know. It's weird. It's really weird. In the Rolling Stones article, I think in the digital one was fixed, but in the print one, they wrote a little segment saying that Johnny Depp admitted to hitting the Brooks guy on the movie set, which I thought was really weird. I was like, I don't know, man. I'm a little bit skeptical with Rolling Stone. And they had to correct it and remove that. But to me, it wouldn't make sense. Why would Johnny Depp admit to hitting Rocky Brooks if he's always have denied it? I don't know. I wonder if they were trying to go after him or something at that time. It was really weird. After Mr. Depp and Mr. Waldman's meeting, the Daily Mail published a series of articles that accurately quoted Mr. Waldman. In an article published on April 8, 2020, the Daily Mail wrote, Mr. Waldman, Depp's lawyer, said Amber and her friends use fake SV alligators as both a sword and a shield depending on their needs. They have selected some of her SV hoax facts as a sword, inflicting them on the public and Mr. Depp. On April 27, 2020, the Daily Mail published a statement which accurately quoted Mr. Waldman as stating, it's so funny how I think Amber Heard and her team actually used this same phrase, the sword and shield thing. They stole it from Madam Waldman. Quite simply, this is a hoax. Okay, we know this. And on June 24, 2020, the Daily Mail published an article that accurately quoted Mr. Waldman's assertion that Ms. Heard was carrying on an AB hoax against Johnny Depp. Each of these articles identified Mr. Waldman as Mr. Depp's lawyer or attorney. Mr. Waldman has generated the content for negative press about Ms. Heard as well. He filed a report with LAPD claiming that Ms. Heard and Ms. Pennington perjured themselves. Then, based on the report, he told a German media outlet that LAPD has now opened a criminal investigation into the perjury of Ms. Heard, which repeated the statement solely created by him in one of the publications. Mr. Depp and Ms. Heard have enjoyed widespread success in generating negative publicity about Ms. Heard. An expert witness who analyzed negative tweets on Twitter about Ms. Heard found that between April 2020 and April 2021, over 25% of negative tweets about Ms. Heard was associated with the hashtag that included Waldman or a variation of this name. The expert witness also detected a huge spike of negative hashtags towards Ms. Heard in February 2020, which coincides with Mr. Waldman and Mr. Depp met with a publicist for Daily Mail. Yeah, when the audio recordings came out. Mr. Depp's motion for summary judgment and motion to strike the evidence. Prior to the trial, Mr. Depp moved for summary judgment, arguing, as relevant here, that Ms. Heard could not prove Mr. Waldman published a statement with actual malice, that a statement was not actual expression of opinion. Ms. Heard responded that both Mr. Depp and Mr. Waldman knew the statement was false, and that malice was therefore established. Further, because the statement accused Ms. Heard of fabricating evidence of DV and then calling law enforcement, the statement was capable of being proven false, thus actionable. Agreeing with Ms. Heard, the circuit court observed that absent exceptional circumstances, the question of actual malice should not be decided at the summary judgment stage. The court held that the reasonable fact finder could conclude Mr. Waldman published a statement with malice because he had no personal knowledge of the underlying events at issue and nonetheless made the statement. Again, I wish they focused on this right here because there's a reason why Adam Waldman thought that, but I don't know why did they not go into that? It was really weird to me. The reason for him thinking that they spilled the wine and they, concocted this hoax. At trial, Mr. Depp moved to strike the conclusion Ms. Heard's evidence of her counterclaim. He reiterated the arguments in his motion for summary judgment, contending the statement was opinion and clear and convincing evidence did not establish it was published with actual malice. So the argument that they make for Amber Heard, in his mind, in her mind, she thought it was real. So can't they just say the same thing? Well, in his mind, he thought it was real too. But I guess they're saying that like maybe because Amber Heard experienced it, and then Mr. Waldman has no. I don't know. I mean, I feel like it could kind of, if you want to use the stupid argument that Amber and her team are making, I feel like you kind of use it for Adam Waldman as well. No. In light of his testimony, Mr. Depp claimed that Mr. Waldman, independent contractor, blah blah blah. The refused jury instructions on independent contractor. We're gonna skip through that a little bit. Argument: Mr. Depp's independent contractor theory is inapposite, which is like inappropriate, just a very fancy way of saying it. And whether Mr. Waldman is his agent was a question of fact relating to assignments of error 1 and 2. Using her delusion as a defense. Smart. I know, right? She does it to herself. I agree. I wholly agree with that. A plaintiff is armed with a jury verdict approved by the trial court stands in the most favored position known to law. When a trial court has refused to strike a plaintiff's evidence, the well-established standard of appellate review requires the court to determine whether the evidence present at trial, taken in the light most favorable to the plaintiff, was sufficient to support the jury verdict in favor of the plaintiff. Whether the concept of independent contractor applies in the case of this question is a question of law that is reviewed de novo. We're going to skip through this. Mr. Waldman can be independent contractor and agent, which we've already talked about that. The circuit court properly denied the motion to strike because the circuit court properly denied the motion to strike because whether Mr. Waldman made the statement while acting as Mr. Depp's agent was a question of fact. I'm going to skip over this as well. The court need not to adopt any rule regarding whether attorneys are independent contractors as a matter of law. I'm going to skip that. This is just all Adam Waldman stuff. Ms. Heard presented sufficient evidence of actual malice relating to assignments of error. Mr. Depp waived any argument the summary judgment should have been granted. All right, let's see what they say here. In this section of this opening brief regarding actual malice, Mr. Depp asserts the circuit court erred in denying Mr. Depp's motion of summary judgment and motion to strike. Despite this statement, he presented no arguments concerning the summary judgment record and relies exclusively on the evidence presented at trial. The conclusion of this segment suggests Mr. Depp seeks to abandon any error regarding summary judgment by omitting any reference to this motion and stating that only the motion to strike should have been granted. In Mr. Depp's memorandum supporting his motion for summary judgment, his sole basis for arguing Ms. Heard could not prove actual malice was an interrogatory response he described as factually empty. According to Mr. Depp, this interrogatory requested that Ms. Heard explain how Mr. Depp could be legally responsible for Mr. Waldman's conduct. Ms. Heard had no burden to develop the record at summary judgment. Standard of review. Ms. Heard could prove defamation by showing either Mr. Depp or Mr. Waldman had actual malice. How? Ms. Heard could prove defamation by showing either Mr. Depp or Mr. Waldman had actual malice when the statement was published. Mr. Waldman's conduct is tortious and imputed to Mr. Depp if he's published a statement with actual malice. The inquiry is whether the liability for defamation would arise if Mr. Depp published a statement, thereby permitting Ms. Heard to rely on Mr. Depp's actual malice to prove defamation. Here, evidence established that Mr. Depp and Mr. Waldman had actual malice. Okay. They said Mr. Depp had actual malice. All right, tell us how. As a perpetrator of DV, Mr. Depp is aware that he AB'd Ms. Heard physically, verbally, and emotionally that evening. For that reason, he knows the assertion that there was a hoax or ambush or setup is false. But how do they know that he knows this? How? He also knows that Ms. Heard and her friends did not spill wine or ruffle the penthouse because it caused property damage to the penthouse or spilled wine there on May 21st. Consequently, there is ample evidence from the jury could infer that Mr. Depp knew the statement was false or reckless with respect to its falsity. Mr. Waldman had actual malice. Mr. Waldman testified he has no first-hand knowledge of whether Mr. Depp AB'd Ms. Heard, but he claimed he saw some things that showed her statements to be false. Mr. Waldman testified, so there are 2 police officers, one DV-trained female police officer who testified over and over and over again there was no damage to the penthouse, which Ms. Heard claimed was destroyed. That's the direct quote, destroyed. Based on this testimony, A fact founder could have concluded Mr. Waldman believed there was no damage to the penthouse. Wait, what? That Mr. Waldman believed there was no damage to the penthouse. All three officers saw no damage to the penthouse. The jury could infer Mr. Waldman spoke to the officers or reviewed their testimony and reaching their conclusion there was no damage to the penthouse. The point of the evening. Or Mr. Waldman just thinks that the police officer saw nothing, even though he knew that Amber Heard claimed that it was destroyed. No? Yet Mr. Waldman told Daily Mail there was damages to the penthouses. Hi, Ricta. How are you doing today? We're all doing good. Hello, hello, hello. Unalive? I think I've heard that before, too. Oh, my throat. All right. I don't know if we're going to get to the other document. In addition, when making the statement and others as Mr. Depp's attack dog, when he filed a police report for perjury simply so he could tell the press falsely that Ms. Heard was being investigated for perjury, Mr. Waldman selectively credited only the evidence that he believed was favorable to Mr. Depp and ignored the abundant evidence of Mr. Depp's AB of Ms. Heard, including the evidence regarding the night of May 21st, 2016. Therefore, a jury could reasonably have concluded that he either knew his statement was false or reckless in not knowing and thus possessed actual malice. 3. The statement is actionable because it contains a provable false factual connotation. They're saying that Adam Waldman's statement is not protected under freedom of speech. Mr. Waldman did not allow the facts available to him in the statement. Although the articles note that Mr. Depp's legal team pointed out the 911 caller on May 21st had a female voice, and the LAPD registered Mr. Wright's call at 10:09. This explained at most why Mr. Waldman asserted that 2 calls were made in the statement. There is no explanation of facts that could be interpreted as supporting the defamatory assertion that Ms. Heard set up Mr. Depp by fabricating evidence of DV. Mr. Depp also asserts that the court considers factors such as whether the form in which a statement is made would cause a reader to understand the author's opinion, the degree to which the audience is familiar with the underlying facts, and the identity of the speaker. Each of the factors suggests that the statement is not an opinion. The form in the Daily Mail is a widely circulated tabloid that publishes newsworthy accounts of factual information, not opinion pieces. The overwhelming majority of Daily Mail's numerous readers are not familiar with the underlying facts of Ms. Heard's AB, and the identity of the speaker as Mr. Depp's attorney suggests that he has inside knowledge or access to evidence that established Ms. Heard's allegators are false. While a reader might consider statements that an attorney makes in court as mere advocacy, the press is not a traditional form in which attorneys advocate for their client. What is this one? Rejected jury instructions, contractor. So we're still talking about Adam Waldman here. The circuit court did not AB its discretion by requiring redaction of relevant and inadmissible portions of the article containing the statement. I think I'm going to skip through this. It's basically the same argument over and over again, but just written either the same or using similar language and just present it a little bit differently, but it's basically just the same shit. All right, so this is basically a whole 58 pager talking about how Mr. Adam Waldman is responsible and how Depp and Waldman acted with actual malice and how the whole thing was not a hoax. Counsel certifies that this brief contains 12,400 words, excluding those portions of the brief that do not count towards the word limit, therefore complies with rule blah, 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 which provides that a brief of the appellee may not exceed pages of Jesus. Wait. It did exceed, didn't it? Oh, because, hold on a second. This brief contains 12,000, excluding the blah, 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 which provides that a brief of the appellee may not exceed the longer of 50 pages or 12,300. Jesus, this was long. But yeah, this is the last page, so I guess the certificate doesn't count. Interesting. Wow, he just kept it at 50,000 and then just at 12,000. I wonder if it's unlimited how long they can write for. Holy crap. Hi Jack. Hi Nomi. How are you doing today? So that is Mr. Benjamin Rottenborn, and this was submitted on December 2nd. Whew, man, lots of stuff going on. Lots of stuff going on. And then lastly, how long is this one right here? Oh, you know what? We could read this one. This one's only 12 pages. Should we read it or should we wait until tomorrow? Maybe we'll do it tomorrow. Maybe we'll do it tomorrow instead. But this is going to be Johnny Depp's response. Johnny Depp and his team's response to the Amber Heard stuff. Good Lord. I heard they get destroyed. Not Johnny Depp and them, but I heard Amber Heard and her team gets destroyed. But, could be subjective. We'll have to definitely take a look at it. All right, guys. How is everyone doing today? Hello. What's up? How are you guys? We have that was a word full. Lots of chatter. Oh man, it's 2:25 right now. Man, my throat. Are you guys all ready for Christmas, holidays? Isn't it wild how it's already going to be 2023? 2023. I'm surprised there's anything left to destroy. Oh, man. I wonder what's next. Now what? What else we got going on? So we have two cases that we're keeping an eye on. Is the one with Amber Heard and her insurance companies, and then Amber Heard, and then this appeal with Johnny Depp. You love winter? It's too cold. I want it to be fall season. It's just too darn cold, man. I don't know what's going on. The presents are cold too. Boop, 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 boop. Whew, all right. So I was going to watch I don't know. Should we do it? There's the George Anthony on the stand. Let me see how long that is. I'm just so sad that we can't times 1.5 it because it's on Law and Crime. Oh no, it's not Law and Crime. It's on Court TV. But the quality is so bad if I go on YouTube. Let me see if I can find it one more time. Testimony. Hi, Ken. How are you doing today? What is going on? How are you? No, this quality sucks. Day 3. Oh man. You fell on your butt yesterday while you were ice skating? Wait, dude, you're ice skating? How was it? Did you get any of your fingers chopped off? That's what I get scared of. Fingers being chopping off. Alright, let's watch it. I want to watch it.
This is an SOS from Novaport.
Oh god, this is an ad.
Our outpost on Earth
La, 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 la,
is
la,
in
la, la.
danger.
Oh, Walt Disney for Epcot.
Hey, Quill, this thing is so broken.
Oh, dude, the Guardians of the Galaxy ride was so scary.
Quill, you seeing this? Quill! Well, you heard the lady.
He was on the
Get
stage like I think
happy.
4
It's
different
Save the
times
Galaxy
lately.
time. Again.
I don't know. I see him with like different shirts on, but I want to listen to his testimony.
George A. Anthony, George, middle initial A, last name Anthony, Anthony.
I sent a reel. I posted the same thing in your Discord. It's a reel over. Oh, Sporks. Well, thanks for sending it over. Wait, it's your dog? What kind of dog do you have again? All right, guys. Next thing, we are going to watch the day 2 testimony. This is G. Anthony. He is recalled back on the stand.
Why?
Good morning, Mr. Anthony.
Good morning.
I want to speak to you today about the date of June 24th of 2008.
This is the prosecutor.
On that particular date, were you home in the morning of that day?
Yes.
Now, was your schedule on that date different than on a normal workday?
Yes, I had made some plans to do a couple things around the house, meet my wife, to deposit a check, and go to a job interview later that afternoon.
So you weren't working your normal 3 to 11 shift on that day?
No, I had called the company I was presently working for and told them I needed the time off to take care of a personal matter.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, because I was very confused as well because there was some searches that happened on the computer and it happened at like 2:50-ish or something regarding foolproof suffocation. And I thought it was really interesting because they said that George was at work and then it changed to his testimony saying that he was at work from 3 to 11 and I was confused by that. So now we're clarifying a little bit. So George was not at work, working his normal shift from 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. Okay, we're writing some notes here. We are writing some notes here.
Was that a day that you normally would have been working?
Yes.
So, on the 24th, did you have occasion to attempt to do some yard maintenance work?
Yes, shortly after 10 o'clock in the morning, yes.
When you got up to prepare for that, what did you do?
Well, like any other time, I go to my side shed, which is on the south side of my home. And as I walked down towards the shed to open up the door, I found that the lock had been broken.
Wait, what day is this? Now I'm confused. Sparks is a female standard. Wait, silver? Real is a rescue. He's a mud, probably part lab, shepherd, and greyhound. Oh, thank you so much for the 5, by the way. I do appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. Wait, what day are we talking about? June 24. June 24. When did Kaylee go missing? Do I have it in my notes?
Please display for the witness. This will be State's Exhibit LJ for identification. I'll show it to counsel. No, I don't.
June 16.
Do you recognize this, Mr. Anthony?
Yes.
Do you recognize this to be a diagram of your home and the surrounding property, particularly the backyard?
Yes.
Wait, I'm a little confused.
So, on the 24th, did you have occasion to attempt to do some yard maintenance work?
Oh, okay. So we're talking about 2 different days. Okay, that's why
Yeah.
I'm confused.
Okay, so that's the one at the bottom right corner of the diagram.
Yes.
Okay. Now, let's just orient a couple of the things here since we've got
Shortly after 10 o'clock in the morning, yes. Was it a check?
different than on a normal.
Yes.
Now, was your schedule on that date?
When, why?
Good morning, Mr. Anthony.
Good morning.
I want to speak to you today about the date of June 24th of 2008. On that particular date, were you home in the morning of that day?
Yes.
Oh, he doesn't change his story. Sorry. This is June 24. The whole thing is June 24. I'm getting really confused.
Was your schedule on that date different than on a normal work day?
Yes, I had made some plans to do a couple things around the house, meet my wife, to deposit a check, and go to a job interview later that afternoon.
So you weren't working your normal 3 to 11 shift on that day?
No, I had taken.
Okay, because I was like, is he changing his story? But no, I was getting confused. I was getting confused.
Touch the screen and make a little circle. Just circle which. And I'd like to publish it to the jury and allow the witness to use it to explain.
You may publish it to the jury.
This judge
All right,
is so
sir.
monotone.
As you're going through and telling us stuff, I want you to just kind of be able to refer to the diagram, okay?
To the jury.
So you said you went out to the shed, which contains your, I guess, lawn equipment.
Lawn equipment,
Okay.
yes.
Could you just, and I think you should be able to touch the screen and make a little circle, just circle which shed that is. Okay, so that's the one at the bottom right corner of the diagram.
Show us,
Yes.
show us, show us, show us. I want to see
Now,
that.
let's just orient a couple of the things here since we've got the diagram up. There's an item up on the top right that says Playhouse. What is that?
That's Kaylee's playhouse. That's that we got for her just prior to her second birthday.
All right. And obviously there's a circular item that says pool.
Oh, what is this?
Is that an above-ground pool?
Yes.
What's with this grade?
And the two items that are shed on the left, those are sheds holding different purposes?
The one shed we have are bicycles inside, rafts for the beach. The other one just has some other miscellaneous plant things, things for our pool, just
All right. And
miscellaneous items.
the patio that's depicted here, is that a enclosed screen patio?
It's an enclosed screen patio.
All right. So you go out to the shed to start your lawn work. What do you find?
I find that the lock had been broken off of the shed. The right side door was partially open, about 2 or 3 inches.
And what type of shed is this? Is it a wood shed, metal shed, plastic shed?
It's plastic fiberglass. Rubbermaid is the brand of it.
Yeah, the
One
duct
of those you can
tape.
like buy at Home Depot or Lowe's and
Yes.
put together. All right. So what kind of lock was on it?
Just a small, like a master key type lock, nothing extravagant at all. I just took one key to open it up.
And was the lock still on it, but was the lock itself broken, or the sort of the shed latch was broken? What was
Well,
broken?
the shed had like a 2 eyelet plastic connection that went to it, and I just slid the lock itself between it just to lock it.
Okay, sort of a hole in each door, you stick the lock through
Right.
the middle.
Yes, sir.
And was the shed part broken or the lock itself broken?
Just the shed part, just the plastic eyelet pieces were broken.
All right, so did you open the shed to see if anything, pardon me, if anything was missing?
Well, first thing I opened up the shed and looked to the right, I automatically seen the lock itself. The lock was inside of the shed, which I thought was somewhat unusual. And I just did a quick scan and seen the lawnmower was there, other tools and stuff that I'd be using, the blower, the edger, also a generator I have in there. And I looked over to my left where
Man,
I
I
kept
wish-
the
I
gas
wish
cans
you
up
took the
above
stand.
the ground, and both gas cans were gone.
Now, were any of the actual power tools missing? The lawnmowers, edgers, any of that more expensive
No,
stuff?
they were not, which I found somewhat unusual,
So just the gas cans?
just the gas cans.
Okay, so what did you do in response to that?
Well, first took a step back and just shook my head and wondered, okay, why just take the gas cans?
Okay.
When there was other things more valuable to me, inside there.
Sure.
I immediately just went and I said, well, I need to make a report on this because, again, this could be conceived as hearsay, but neighbors do talk, and we know that there has been minor thefts, gas taken from vehicles, so on and so forth in the area.
All right.
So I just thought, well, I'll at least call and make a
I wonder if it was
report.
Casey, the one that was
If the
stealing
gas
gas
cans
in
are
the
ever found
neighborhood.
and make a description of them, I'll get them back.
You know, during the 31
All right,
days
and
that
did
she
you,
was
what agency did you?
during the 31 days that she was like out partying or whatever while her daughter was missing, she also had stolen a checkbook from a friend and she was stealing money from her friend and like spending it. I think
Oh.
that was in the doc.
I called the Orange County Sheriff's Department because we're in their jurisdiction.
And approximately what time of the day would this have been?
I'm going to say it was probably close to maybe 10:30 in the morning, and I know within about 10 minutes after making the initial report, I had a deputy show up to my house.
Okay. It's just more than one deputy or just?
Just one deputy came to our front curb area. Very nice gentleman. I explained to him what happened, and he explained that there have been thefts in the neighborhood,
Okay.
things like that.
Did you make a report, fill out paperwork to make a report of the
I
theft?
finished, I filled out a report, signed it, gave a brief description of what the gas cans looked like. He said, is there a value on them? And I said, probably in the same neighborhood, maybe between gas and the gas cans replacement, maybe $50. I said, could be more, could be a little bit less, but at least that.
And did he, make an extensive investigation, dust for fingerprints, take DNA samples, anything like that?
No, he just said he would make the report, he would go ahead and have it available for me if I want to stop by.
Sustain.
All right. So how long was the deputy there?
5-10 minutes, it wasn't a real long report.
Garage, patio.
And did
of
he
the
leave you some
shed.
paperwork to document that you had made the report?
Yes.
All right. So what did you do about your plan to do yard work?
It seems like the house is.
Well, I sort of had to
the
put
shed
that
is
on
right
hold
near,
because I knew I'd have to go out and
Casey's
purchase
room,
new
right?
gas cans to get the job done.
Did you actually go out and buy new gas cans at that point?
Yes, I went out and bought 2 more plastic gas cans, but I also went and alerted my next door neighbor, the Bruner residence, who just had moved in just about 3 years prior to that.
That would be Mr. Berner?
Yes,
Brian
was here
Berner.
yesterday.
All right. So, did you get your lawn mowed
Pardon me,
that
sir?
day? Did you get your lawn mowed that day?
As a matter of fact, I did not get my lawn mowed that day.
Okay.
Yeah, the
Did there come a
footage.
point in time, up until this point, from June 16th that we talked about previously to this date, June 24th, had you seen your daughter, Casey?
I can't remember seeing Casey come back, to our house at all. I don't remember seeing her from the last time I saw her on the 16th till the immediate report.
So on the 24th, did you see your daughter?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Approximately what time was that?
Shortly after 2 p.m. in the afternoon.
Yeah, there were pictures of her. You can look it up online. It was like pictures of her like partying and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Now,
Getting a tattoo.
is that a time where, on your normal
really weird
schedule,
shit
you
that
would
you
have
wouldn't do if
been
your kid was
already
missing.
on your way to work?
Within that 2 to 2:15 time, 2:15 p.m., I would have been leaving for work, yes.
But you were there because of the interview.
Yes, because my interview was until 6 p.m. that evening.
So tell us what led up to your seeing Casey.
I was just inside my living room area. I just had come home after depositing a check with my wife at our local bank, and was just sort of easing into my thought process of what I was going to be doing this interview. It was a great opportunity for me, and just trying to feel at ease for the next couple hours or so.
Sustain.
So you were in your living room.
Yes.
Okay. Just sort of put a little spot on your living room. I guess it's pretty obvious, but right there. Okay. So you're in your living room. Tell us about what happened next with you're seeing Casey.
Well, after being home just a few moments, I heard the garage door come up, and next thing I know, here's Casey coming in the house.
Now, was your car in the garage?
Yes.
All right, so you hear the door come up, and obviously your car is in there, so are you concerned at all about who's coming in the middle of the afternoon?
I was concerned because I knew it couldn't have been my wife because she'd still been working because I just had saw her previously. And
With the Credit One
Ah!
Bank Platinum X5 Visa, every day is your
What is
lucky day,
this?
because you can earn cash
Seems
back
credible, no
rewards on
stumbling.
purchases that you make every day.
Okay, so when you first see Casey, let me just clear this diagram here.
His hair is white, eyebrows are black.
When you
I think
first
it
saw
just happens
Casey, where was she?
sometimes.
Just put a little circle on the diagram.
I first saw Casey just right near the front door area.
And she was coming in from the garage through this, what is that room between the garage and the living room?
Wherever the AC unit is at, if I'm
Right.
pointing right there, we have a little hallway that comes in from the garage.
And is that where she came through?
Yes.
Okay. Were you surprised to see her?
Yes, happy. I mean, I was glad to see my daughter. I haven't seen her for some time, and just
What was her reaction to seeing you?
somewhat of surprise on her part.
Now, pardon me. Tell me about, did you have a conversation with her?
Yes, I did. I asked her how she was doing, what she's doing there. I asked, where's Kaylee? And she says, Dad, I only got 10 minutes. I got to get my clothes. I got to take off and go to work. I said, oh, okay. I mean, then I did ask some a little bit more about her and, with schedule. I asked some a little bit more about Kaylee, where's she at? I haven't talked to her. We haven't seen her. Has Mom been talking to you? And she was a little evasive with me, but again, she said she had 10 minutes. I said, okay.
Did you just assume she was rushing somewhere?
She was rushing to get some clothes to go to work. And I said, okay.
Now, upon seeing Casey and upon what you told us about early in the morning, did you become to suspect that she might know something about these missing gas cans?
I have
At this point, he hasn't seen his granddaughter in almost 10 days because the last time they see her was on June 16. At least he's seen her June 16.
felt on different occasions that
Right?
the
Yeah, it's
gas
June
cans
24.
or gas has been used without my knowledge from different times, and I was always just wondering, it just doesn't evaporate that quickly, especially when it's a concealed area that I have it in and locked and things like that.
Is she just stealing gas so she can save
I
money
did.
from pumping gas at the gas station?
Ask Casey about it.
Okay.
And she said, Dad, I don't know what you're talking about. And I says, well, it's really wild. As I said, I go to mow the grass this morning, and I said, I don't have any gas for the lawnmower and for the edger and stuff. She says, oh, Dad, she says, I don't know what to tell you. I said, okay. And I sort of just let it go for a moment. But then again, I've seen some indication on her car where there were like spill marks and stuff like that whenever,
You talk about in the past.
Wow.
in the past, yes.
Okay.
And I've seen spill marks on the particular Sunfire she has.
Well, I don't want to go too deep into why you were suspicious. The question, I guess the point was that you thought maybe she had taken the gas.
Yes.
All right. So what did you do in an effort to investigate that?
Well, I just wanted to, I guess, maybe conduct my own little, I don't want to say the word investigate, I just wanted to question her a little bit more about some things. So I decided, well, I was planning on that weekend changing the oil in my wife's car, rotating the tires. I do that stuff at our home. And inside of Casey's car and my wife's vehicle, I have these little metal triangular triangular things that you support with your tires with when you jack your car up that the car doesn't move. Well,
Sort of
Casey
like-
had one, and I put it back there, so I knew it should be there. And
Like
I
something to
wanted-
keep the car from sliding back while you're working
Yes.
on it? Okay.
So I inquired about going out and get it. I said, Casey, I said, I need to get something out of your car. Her conversation to me was, what do you want to get out of the car? I said, I said that little metal type block, that little triangular block. I said, I need that, again, like I said, to work on her mother's car for the weekend. Dad, I'll get it for you. I said, no, Casey, I know where it's at. I got an extra key. I'll just go out and get it.
So you had a key to her car.
Right, we've always kept at least 2 or 3 extra keys for each one of our vehicles in case we get locked out.
So you could have gone out and opened the trunk while she was getting ready or
Yes.
whatever. Okay.
So after just maybe a little bit of back and forth, talk here and there, I mean, it was very cordial, very nice. As I'm starting to walk down our little hallway to go out through the garage because the garage door is open, Casey just brushes past me very quickly, says, Dad, I'll get it. I'll get it out of the car. He says, Casey, I'm capable of going out and get it. So as she almost nearly runs to the back of her car, and I'm walking, just thinking, okay.
Oh, this must be the testimony that pisses off Casey. Oh my goodness. She must have been so pissed hearing the testimony that a dad gave.
Here we go, a little funny time here between her and I. As I get towards the end of the car, right at the passenger rear, just where the taillight and stuff is at, Casey opens up the trunk, throws the trunk open, reaches in and grabs the gas cans. She said, here, I hate to say this, here's your fucking gas cans, and places them down on the ground and slams her trunk. I didn't know what to say at first. And I said, why? She says, I needed them. I've had...
Judge, over
Go ahead.
Dad, I needed them. I've been having problems with the car, so on and so forth. I said, this makes no sense to me. She says, well, I've been taking a trip. She said, I've been needing for... I run low on fuel. I don't have money, or this...
I don't know, man. This is, oh, God. Imagine just dealing with, like, you let someone live in your house, you let them raise a family in your house, they're stealing shit from you, like, oh my God, like, I don't know.
I said, whatever the reason is, I said, I don't want to get upset any more than I already am. I said, and you don't need to get upset before I go into work. I says, we'll talk later. So I picked up the gas cans, and I went in to where my garage door was, and I just set them on our little freezer that we had, and just told Casey, I said, listen, we'll talk later. Because I was just,
But in his case,
I don't know, I guess the word mortified, I guess, could be.
it's
like,
not easy
I know
for him to
in
just
the
kick her
past,
out because he loves the
they'd been missing
granddaughter.
or used, and now finally when I caught her with them.
Well, let me stop you
hurt.
because I don't want to go too far into the past. Suffice it to say, you were a little annoyed
Yes.
about this. Okay. As you, the car, her car, was it in your garage or was it on the driveway?
Is in a driveway parked about right in the middle of the drive itself.
Now, when she opened the trunk, did you look in the trunk?
Never had a chance to.
Now, when you were standing there at the trunk, did you smell anything unusual?
The only smell that I had was the smell of gas from these gas cans. That's the only thing I had at the time.
Okay, that's the only thing you remember?
Yes.
All right. All right, so you got your gas cans back. What did Casey do then?
She abruptly got into her car, backed out of the driveway, and I didn't see her again.
Now, during any of these conversations with Casey, did you mention to her that you had called the police?
I had told her about that I had made a report, and she said, well, yeah, she says, I talked to Mom. Mom knows about it. Okay, Mom knows about it.
Had you told your wife during the interim hours about the gas cans and the police report and all
Well,
that?
right after I'd made the report with the sheriff's department, I called Cindy briefly, and I just it sort of made her chuckle for a second, and made me sort of chuckle. I said, guess what? I said, someone broke into our shed and took our gas cans.
Okay. You said somebody broke in, and you told her about the break-in?
Yes, I told Cindy about that, yes.
All right. Now, let me just... Okay, could I have State's Exhibit 8J, please? Is that one of the gas cans that we've been talking about here?
Yes.
Oh, why is there there's
And,
duct tape on there?
It's an older metal gas can.
Why is there duct tape on
Yes.
the gas can? Though?
How long have you had it?
Oh, is it to cover the hole?
25 years at least that I've had it for quite some time.
Now, in this photograph, it has a piece of duct tape over over a portion of it. Do you see that?
Yes.
Now, was it your habit to place a piece of duct tape on this can for some reason?
The only reason that piece of duct tape is on there is because the plastic cap, it's a vent cap that is generally on any type of gas can or something like that to vent when you're pouring it out, was gone. When Casey brought those back to me, brought this one and the other smaller one back to me, it was gone. So I did place that particular one back on there because I didn't want a gas smell out in the shed or inside the house.
All right. May I have State's AK? And you see State's Exhibit AK, which is being shown to you. It's a photograph taken at a later time, obviously, but is that the other gas can we're talking about?
Yes, it is.
All right. Could I have a State's Exhibit? Let's see.
The Pontiac Sunfire is in my name and my wife's name. We have title to the vehicle.
And at the particular time that we're speaking of, which is June 24th, whose car was this as far as use and possession?
Was Casey's car.
No further questions.
Cross-examination?
Judge, we would request the morning recess at this time, if that's possible.
Okay.
Come be a part of the world's
Disney.
most
I don't know why the
magical
ads, they weren't
celebration.
running yesterday
Now
when we
through
were doing
March.
this.
A once-in-a-lifetime moment.
But they're
filled
running
with
now.
once-in-a-
Oh, lots of Disney ads. All right, guys, who's gonna go to Disneyland? Their rides are janky. They need to update all their stuff. If you have like back issue, neck pain, like I don't know, like wouldn't even go.
Holidays are here at Pet Food Express.
Oh my god, how many ads are there? Oh, Pet Food Express. I wonder if it knows that I have it muted. Sometimes, oh, there it is. 2 out of 2. Okay, 19 seconds. Sometimes, if you mute the tab, I think like the ads like stop playing and it waits until you unmute it in order to start playing again. I feel like that's a thing.
And in fact, you told her, if you need gas, I'll give you $10 for it. Don't take gas from my gas cans.
Let's see
Yes.
how he acts under cross-examination.
And it would
He was a little
upset
heated
you
last time.
that Casey would take gas from the gas cans prior to this ever happening.
Yes?
Now, on June 24th, you haven't seen your granddaughter for 9 days,
Yes.
and you lived with her all her life, rather.
Yes.
Never went 24 hours without seeing her.
Yes.
And on June 24th,
Okay, let's go off the record for a second and see what's going on.
thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Anthony, you stated the last time you saw your granddaughter was on June 16th, correct?
Correct.
And on June 24th, you called the police.
Yes.
And you called the police to report gas cans missing,
Yes.
not your granddaughter missing.
Correct.
Is that a yes, sir?
My granddaughter was
Correct means
not
yes.
missing at that time.
My question to you is, not your granddaughter missing. Is that correct?
Overruled.
He literally said correct.
My granddaughter was not missing at that time.
I didn't
to my
ask you
knowledge.
that, sir. I asked you whether you didn't call the police to report your granddaughter was missing on June 24th. Did you, sir?
I didn't call about my granddaughter being missing on the 24th of June.
So
I
the
called
answer
a
is-
reference to a gas cans being taken from my shed.
So the answer is yes.
Yes.
Now, when you had the police officer there,
Also, if he was involved in this crime, why would he call the police officer for gas cans missing and have them sniffing around the area, right? Like, that doesn't even make sense.
and you were talking about these gas cans,
If a crime just happened and you were involved in it, you wouldn't want the police
did you tell
anywhere
this
near your
police
house.
officer, my granddaughter's missing?
No.
Did you tell him, my daughter has been basically not telling me the truth as to where she is?
Objection, argumentative, assumes facts that are not in evidence.
Overruled at this point, Mr. Ashton.
Did you tell that to the deputy when he arrived?
No.
Did you tell the deputy, even though I'm reporting these gas cans missing, my daughter has been taking gas in the past?
No.
Did you tell the police officer, I even confronted my daughter about taking gas in the past?
No.
Did you call your daughter and ask her, hey, did you take gas?
No.
You didn't do any of those things.
Did not.
Instead, you picked up the phone and called the police.
Yes.
What's he trying to get at?
Now, this
And?
alleged argument that you had with her, you stated that she basically came in, was in a hurry,
Yes.
and she told you she had to go to work.
Yes.
And you told her you needed to get something out of her trunk.
Yes.
And she didn't want you near her trunk.
Yes.
And she opened the trunk,
Yes.
and you didn't smell anything.
Yes. Didn't smell anything.
And and you said, I hate to say this, here's your fucking gas cans. You said that, right?
That's what she said to me.
But that's what you testified to.
Yes.
Now, when she gave you these gas cans, they did not have any duct tape on it, did they?
Had no duct tape whatsoever.
And before that, actually, you could see in her trunk, could you not?
I could not.
Well, the reason why the trunk is going to be brought up a couple times is because the mom, when they found the car at the impound, she said that the car smelled like as if there was a dead body in it, and she's a nurse. Not only that, I think the police officers that showed up said the same thing. They had a cadaver dog as well. But there were some weird things going on with the cadaver dog. I don't know. I don't know if it's true or not. I'm just taking the word of what the person said in the dog. They said that the dog indicated that there was a dead body and then came back around again and like didn't indicate it or something weird like that. But I think even he said it as well, that it smelled like there was a dead body in it, and he's a police officer. So police officer, nurse, like you would think they would know what a dead body might possibly smell like. You would think they would at least encounter it once in their careers before.
I'd like to refer counsel to Bates, page 7921.
Yeah, I mean, so far I do get genuine vibes from him, but we'll see.
One more time. When you speak, speak into a microphone. Walking around and talking, the court reporter cannot hear you. So if you
Jose hates this judge, man. This judge has been reprimanding him for like everything.
not at the podium, you're not with a microphone on, do not speak. You may continue.
Yes, sir. Mr. Anthony, do you recall giving a statement to the FBI on July 30th of 2008?
I don't remember the exact date, but I talked to the FBI and
You talked
numerous
to
times.
an agent, Scott Boland.
The judge is.
Do you remember speaking to agent?
I remember.
I mean, maybe Jose Baez has done this a couple of times. The judge just had it at this point, or maybe the judge is kind of a little, he's kind of a dick or something.
Who Scott Boland is, yes.
And do you
'Cause
recall?
I feel like he could just be like, "Oh, please speak into the microphone." But again, if Jose Baez has done this like 20 times already, then I could see why the judge might be irate.
that they videotaped you?
I'm sure we were videotaped numerous times, yes.
And page 44, line 21 and 22.
Find it.
Yes, sir.
May
Can
proceed.
everyone
When
speak into
Agent
the
Scott,
microphone?
do you recall Agent Scott Bowling saying, "Okay, when she popped the trunk, were you back at the back of the car?" And you answered, "Yeah, there was definitely, I could see clothes back there." Do you recall making that statement, sir?
I don't recall making
Mm-hmm.
that statement, but presumably, I guess.
Judge Finney was so polite though, but like I think at some point she started getting irritated because Elaine just kept doing it.
I did if it's written down there in written word.
Elaine.
So your testimony under direct examination that you couldn't see what was in the trunk of the car was not true, sir?
Objection.
Ooh, why not?
Overruled.
Overruled.
You may answer.
I don't recall exactly if I saw clothes in their car or not. I was at the passenger rear corner of the car when Casey pulled the gas cans out.
You know that the trunk of this car is an issue in this case, do you not, sir?
Absolutely, I know that.
And you know, by coming and testifying for the prosecution, that you couldn't see in the trunk of the car would give the impression that you weren't close enough to smell it.
Objection.
Don't you, sir?
Argumentative.
Sustain as to that question.
If you testified, sir, under direct that, well, strike that. Mr. Anthony, you actually were close enough to smell the trunk of that car, were you not?
The only smell that I had was of smell of gas cans when they're placed on the ground in front of me.
And you did not smell any smell of human decomposition on June 24th of 2008 in the trunk of your daughter's car?
Did not.
Now, you just testified that
He's
when
kinda
Casey
scary.
gave you the
He's kind of intimidating. Because he'll do like the blank stares, yes or no.
gas cans, it did not have duct tape on it, correct?
If you're, which one are you talking about, sir? There's two of them.
When she said, "Here's your fucking gas cans," it did not have duct tape on it.
Which one are you referring to?
Neither. Neither one of the gas cans had duct tape on it.
His eyes are scary.
Again, you're not being specific with me. I'm not trying to be argumentative, sir. You're not being specific with me.
Wait, where's George getting at here? I'm a little confused, George. Did either of the gas cans have duct tape on them? What's going on? How did the baby know? They don't really know. So, like, they were not able to determine the cause of death. This story, I don't know. There's been a lot of theories, but her defense team at trial during opening introduced, the baby accidentally drowned in the family pool. Now there's a documentary that's out with Casey on it, and she said that could never happen because the ladder was not on the pool. You can't get it in and out of the pool without a ladder. And why the hell would the baby go into the ladder? She's 2 years old, right? So we don't really know. Some people theorize that maybe it was like suffocation. They thought it was chloroform because what showed up in the search results. But then the mom said that she was actually searching for chlorophyll and an autocorrected chloroform. And yeah, we don't know. We don't know. Hi, Chai. Oh, look, Chai, you're a member. Hello, welcome. We have members in the chat now. You guys have your little baby badges, and then you have your little emotes and stuff. You're welcome, Elron. Yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to pop them in. I'll do my best to answer it. Or someone in the chat will. Thank you. What's Jose doing? Why is he looking around like that? That's so awkward. Are they doing like a sidebar?
Can you see on your screen
Yes.
that gas can?
Yes, sir. And if you would describe that as being one that was a cylinder shape,
Right.
I would agree with you. We wouldn't have had this little
Okay.
moment.
Is that clear enough for you?
Yes, sir.
That did not have duct tape on it, did it not?
When my daughter gave it back to me that day on the 24th outside in our our driveway area, it did not have a piece of duct tape on it.
And we're clear about that.
Yes.
Crystal clear.
Objection. Argumentative asked and answered.
Sustain.
Now, Mr. Anthony, this photograph was taken by law enforcement, was it not?
Crystal clear.
Yes.
Okay. Now, she
It was
gave
gifted.
this gas can back to you on the 24th, correct?
Yes.
Now, the reason you call the police
Talking to the
is
microphone.
because
You're gonna get in
you had to
trouble.
mow your lawn,
Yes.
and there was no gas.
Yes.
And between the 24th of June and August 1st, you had to cut your grass.
Probably did.
In fact, you're pretty religious about it. You cut your grass every week.
Could. Not every week, every other week, every 10 days. It just depends.
What are we getting at here? What do you think? Uh-oh, he's going to pull up a testimony. It says here that you mow your grass every week. But what are we getting at?
Referring to the deposition, Mr. Anthony's deposition. August 5th, 2009, counsel. Okay. Page 199, lines 14 through 17. Mr. Anthony, do you recall making this?
Your Honor, if I may just
Yes.
have a moment to look at it?
Sure.
Just a
Thank you.
second.
May I continue, Your Honor?
What
I would
page?
object.
Page
Just a
199.
second. What page?
Page 199.
Line what?
Lines 12 through 17.
Hold on a second. I'm going to use the restroom real quick. when was this video? 2011. I never miss a witness a crime or sleep through one happening near me because I have the worst memory ever. I can sleep through literally anything. Oh, I'm such a light sleeper. Yeah, I'm a super light sleeper. Like, fuck, I don't remember when I mow the grass.
Just a second. Okay,
Mr. Anthony,
what's the objection?
It does not qualify as an inconsistent statement.
What's the statement?
12 through 17?
yes, sir.
All right, we're waiting. We're waiting. We're waiting.
Okay, let's approach the bench.
Oh, they're not. Wait. What's gonna happen? Oh no, they're not. All right, everyone. We have an ad for Epcot. He's reaching with the grass. All right, I want to see. So the reason why they're talking about the gas tank is because the duct tape. Well, there's a couple things, right? The trunk for the car is where several people have said they smelled something that smelled like a decomposing body, and then the gas tank had duct tape. Duct tape was found on Kaylee when they found her body. But the thing that I don't know, because it seems really consistent, they either say the duct tape was wrapped around her head as if it was covering her mouth and her nose, or it was like sort of like dangling on her hair and on her cheek, and that there's no DNA evidence on the duct tape. So there's been like, I don't know, there's been a lot of different theories of why the duct tape was there, but I don't know, just none of it just makes any sense. The tanks were to hide the smell. I don't know. I think that she literally did run out of gas and she was stealing gas from her parents to fill up her car. But I don't know, that could be a thing too, Jack.
You may proceed.
Mr. Anthony, you try to mow your lawn every week or at least every 10 days, do you not?
Yes.
And in fact, during that time period from June 24th to August 1st, you did mow your lawn.
I'll have to maybe agree.
Yeah, at some point though, apparently she did abandon the car and she got the car impounded. And there's been different theories as to why people think she did that. It could be like, oh, I did leave the car. I did run out of gas and I had to leave the car there. But I feel like if that happened to you, if you ran out of gas, what do? You hit up a friend. Hey, I ran out of gas. Your friend comes and brings you gas. Or you walk to a gas station, you buy some gas tank, fill it up, and then put some gas in there. Like, who just leaves the car there?
Or not agree with that. I'm not really sure. I don't write that stuff down on the calendar.
How many days is from, now, on June 24th, your lawn needed mowing, did it not?
Yes.
And that's why you were out looking for the gas cans. That's something funny, sir.
Your question is sort of funny to me. I mean, to have my mower run, it has to run on gas. So I'm just sort of just chuckling a moment about that. But yes, I'll agree. Yes, I mowed the grass. I wanted to mow the grass that day. I didn't have fuel for the lawnmower to mow it with.
So you mowed your lawn. Obviously, the grass was high on June 24th, enough to need mowing.
Yes.
And between June 24th and August 1st, that's 6-7 weeks, right?
No, sir. It's only a few days.
You forget the month of July?
No, starting it from month of July. You said weeks, sir, and first you brought it up to August 1st. It's a month, maybe 5 weeks. I'm sure I cut the yard sometime in July, end of June.
I'm so confused what's going on. But mowing the lawn every week sounds like ass. Get rid of your lawn and get the fake grass in. Hello?
May I ask the witness to stand down, Your Honor?
Witness may stand down. Okay. Make sure there's a break between the question and the answer, and make sure that the answer, the court reporter can hear it. Please face the court reporter when talking.
Your Honor, could I ask Mr. Bias to step to the side so that I can see what's being...
You may want to move so you can see.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Can you please put down the date that you last saw Kaylee?
Wow, it's just like the movies. Okay.
Can you please mark the day you needed to cut your grass?
Okay, over a week later.
And then can you please put police report on the 24th, the same day?
Okay. You want this planner because your eyes, your eyesight sucks. Get it on sale at Home Depot. Or not Home Depot, sorry, Office Depot.
Can you please mark the date you informed law enforcement of this gas can incident with your daughter?
Your Honor, counsel has placed the July over the June, so we can't mark the June date because July is up.
Oh, it's already been marked.
I apologize, maybe I'm missing the question. The question was the day you informed law enforcement, which was, he just testified was June.
After your daughter, can you put down the date your daughter, your granddaughter was reported missing?
So did Baez ask the wrong question? July 15.
Can you put down the date you told law enforcement about this argument you had with Casey over the trunk and the gas cans?
I don't know when I had given that information.
Did they confiscate the gas cans immediately after you told them?
You'd have to come up with the dates, sir. I have no idea.
On August 1st, 2008, did law enforcement collect gas cans from your home?
Okay, we're getting at somewhere. We just don't know where.
I can probably give you a better idea.
Yes, sir. If that refreshes your recollection, go ahead.
All right, Jose, where are you taking us? Where are we going with this, Jose?
That cylinder gas can on August 1st.
And on August, did you go with law enforcement to your home to collect the gas cans?
A second time I did, on another particular date. I'm not sure when that was.
When you told law enforcement of this argument, when was that?
I have no idea. I have no idea when we first discussed that. I don't have it. I'm not a human calendar. I don't have anything in front of me to show me. You might have that information, or the state might. I'm not trying to be argumentative, sir, but you're throwing stuff all over the place there.
On August 1st, July 30th, did you tell the FBI when you met with them about this incident with your daughter?
That's a possibility. I don't have the records in front of me. I don't have any indication of what I said at those different times.
I'll take that for you. If you have a seat,
Yeah, I know that's why the tanks are important, but why? Well, what's the time frame though? What are they trying to establish with the time frame? Like, what does the time frame of the tanks have to do with the duct tape?
You may.
Okay, now what?
Mr. Anthony, your statement given to the FBI on July 31st. Can you turn to page 43, please?
They blamed it on accidental drowning, but in her new doc, she blamed everything on her dad and her family.
Can you, I would direct you to lines 21 through 25.
Okay?
Having read that, does that refresh your recollection?
Objection, Your Honor, as to what?
As to you telling law enforcement about this incident?
I don't believe he's indicated a failure of recollection. I'm sorry, speaking objection. I have an objection. I would need to explain to the bench.
Let me try and
Rephrase the question.
to move this along. Mr. Anthony, do you recall telling anyone about this gas can incident before July 31st, 2008?
Yes, because I made a report on the 24th of June.
Let me rephrase that. Since Kaylee was reported missing, did you make any statements to law enforcement prior to this,
Because I guess my confusion is, are they saying that these are the only gas tanks that the Anthonys have? Like, these are the only gas tanks. And Jose was trying to say, well, if these are the only gas tanks that you use to fill up your lawnmower, then what did you do for the weeks that you didn't have the gas tanks because they were apparently in Casey's possession? I would assume that he would have other gas tanks laying around. I don't know. Am I making too many assumptions? Did he say that those were the only 2 gas tanks that he had?
July 31st, 2008.
Maybe he said in the beginning and I missed it?
You're trying to confuse me here. Yes, you are, sir.
No, sir, I'm not.
We're talking about a gas can, you're talking about my granddaughter. So be specific with one or the other, sir, and then I'll be more than glad to get through this with you.
I'll rephrase the question.
Thank you.
You need to go to the microphone if you're going to ask them questions.
From July 15th, 2008, that was the day you reported your granddaughter missing, right? She was reported missing on that day.
Yes.
And this statement was on July 31st, 2008.
Okay.
Do you recall making any statements about the argument with Casey prior to that?
If you're talking about what's here in the printed word about the gas cans,
That's what I'm referring to. Yes, sir. This argument, this alleged argument that you just finished testifying about for almost an hour, did you tell anybody about that before July 31st?
I'm not sure when this was exactly done, sir. I'm not sure when this deposition was taken through. You have to be specific with me, sir. Give me a date, and I'll answer.
I'm giving you a date, but my
No, sir,
listen to my question.
you are
Listen to
badgering me. You're trying to get me upset, sir.
Listen to my question.
No, wait. Mr. Anthony, did you finish answering the question, sir?
Yes, Judge, I did.
Okay, question.
Did you give law enforcement or tell anyone in law enforcement about this alleged argument before July 31st, 2008? Do you recall?
I mean, he said he called the police officers back in June when it happened.
If I may answer your question as politely as I possibly can, according to what I can see here, I did give information about the gas can and about having an argument with my daughter on the 31st of July. It's right here in printed word, sir. It's right here.
But only on the 31st? Did you do it before that?
The day you explained the argument.
Remain seated, sir. Now, do you have something to ask Mr. Baez?
Yes, sir. May the witness stand up.
Witness may stand down.
The way he said Mr.
Can you please
Baez.
mark on July 31st?
Was it just me? Am I the only one that says a little bit of attitude in there?
Argument.
Okay,
Or
guys.
date of recording argument.
All right, we can do this. Mark the date that you talked to the police officer about the gas tanks. And you talk to anyone before the 31st about the missing gas tanks. But after June 24th, about the gas tanks. Okay, we can do this. Come on. All right, the 31st, talk to the police officers about the gas tanks. Okay, okay. All right, can't read that handwriting, though. I have no idea. Oh, talk to the FBI. I'm sorry. Talk to the FBI about the gas tanks. Okay, keep it short, George. You're writing too much. Keep it short. Keep it short. Just write FBI. You're done. FBI gas. That's it. All right, George. You're wasting court time right now.
Can you please put a 1 next to the 31st so we know that that's August 1st, Friday? Little box.
Okay. George he has nice handwriting. He's got really nice handwriting. Are you guys surprised? He's got nice handwriting. I feel like Jose Baez can just be like, how did you mow your lawn if you had no gas because Casey had your tanks? Just ask that, Joe. I feel like he's like, he's not asking the direct questions. It feels like he's trying to trick George Anthony. Definitely better than my handwriting. Yeah, he's got nice handwriting. Oh, we got two calendars.
August 1st, when the gas cans were collected.
Okay, okay.
Did you mow your lawn?
Yes, I'd purchased some other gas cans along the way.
Okay.
Did you use those gas cans?
Huh?
No, I did not.
Are you certain?
Did you use those gas cans?
On a scale of 1 to 10, I'd probably give myself probably a 9.9.
Okay.
Like the answer?
And since you didn't use them, you probably didn't put any duct tape on that gas can since you mowed your lawn from the 24th to August 1st, right?
I just answered your question. I purchased other gas cans. I don't believe I used them after that.
Because the duct tape was only on there because the cap was missing because Casey used it, right? That's what he said.
Come be a part of
Why
the
is there
world's
another
most
ad
magical-
here? Why are we getting so many? Okay, there's probably, I don't know. I'm a little bit lost. I'm a little bit lost. Okay. Goddamn Disney. Goddamn Disney. So he put duct tape on the gas tank because there's like an air vent. And the lid to the air vent was lost because his daughter Casey had used it. So he had to cover it with duct tape. The jury's sleeping right now. I don't know, man. If I was a jury, I would just be confused. I'd just be like, what the hell is going on? What are we... I don't know. Ask the direct questions. I feel like he was trying to get George to like trip on a lie, but George kind of was like fumbling through it, and it's not proving what Jose was trying to prove. So I'm sure we'll get there. We'll get there. Let's see. All right, got my listening eyes on.
So you wouldn't have probably put a piece of duct tape on that gas can?
Objection for speculation.
Correct.
Overruled.
Correct. Correct.
The question, sir.
Correct.
If I can reiterate here, this piece of tape that's on this can right now, I'm probably the one to put that on there prior to it being taken, because the simple fact is, I'm going to get very technical here for you. Whenever you have gas inside of a can and it gets a very fumy type thing, it could explode. So I probably put that in there when I set it aside. I'm just speculating probably what I did. You're going in an area, sir, that my life and my wife's wife.
Judge, I'm going to object to this narration and ask that it be stricken.
Overruled.
Overruled?
Mr. Anthony,
Finish answering the question, sir.
My life and my wife's life, when this started for
I'm actually really surprised you overruled that. Okay.
us, we were running on fumes, going day by day,
Literally.
just trying to find my granddaughter. And some of these things that you're asking me to be specific on, I'm trying to do the best I can. Is there some things that I might not remember exactly?
Yeah, dude, no one remembers exact dates and stuff. It's really, really hard. Unless you have like a phone calendar and you have a really good organization system that like, I don't know, that organizes like what you do this day. Cause like that could help jog your memory, right? But like if you don't have any of that, for you to have to recall things that happen, like that's tough. That's really hard.
I think that happens to anyone. But when you get into this thing with you and I, sir, you're going off in a way to get me more upset, and I don't think that's fair.
Oh yeah, I know that. That's why the tape is relevant. But I'm just a little confused about how it ties together with the tank and who had possession and all that stuff. Because the thing is, they could just say that Casey had access to the shed where the duct tape was, right? During any of those time.
I'm just asking you, treat me with a little bit of respect, and you'll get respect back. That's all I'm asking.
Mr. Anthony, would you like to answer my question now?
Oof, no respect. I'm sorry. You're not going to get any respect, George.
Objection to counsel's commentary.
Sustain.
Would you like the?
Next question.
Do you remember my question, sir?
No, sir, I do not.
Can Your Honor, may I ask the court reporter read back the question to the witness?
Court reporter may read the question back.
Question, so you wouldn't have probably put a piece of duct tape on that gas can?
And your answer to that question, sir?
To store that gas can in my shed, after receiving it back, I would have put a small piece of duct tape on it to cover that vent hole so it wouldn't have a fumey smell inside of my shed.
And
Okay.
you just testified a moment ago that you put that piece of duct tape on that can, did you not?
I'm presumed that I'm the one to put that on there.
I think that's what he was just trying to establish, that, hey, you put the duct piece on that can. You had access to the duct piece that was found on Kaylee. However, I don't think that really proves anything because Casey could also have access to the duct tape. They all live in the same household.
Deposition page 160, line 11 and 12.
Was he trying to prove that she didn't steal the gas tanks, the gas cans?
May I proceed, Your Honor?
Just a second.
Sure.
I mean, this is a house that she basically grew up in. They bought the house in 1989, and she was born in like 86. So
Do you
she
recall
definitely
giving a
had her.
deposition on this case?
I'm sure she definitely had access to all the rooms in the house and all that stuff, unless it was like locked and she had nowhere to find the key. But like, I don't know. I'm sure she had access to it.
Sir.
I've given numerous depositions on this case.
Okay.
On August 5th, 2009.
Can you give me a location where this was held?
At the state attorney's office.
Yes, I remember that.
I was present.
Yes,
Mr. Ashton was present.
yes,
Your attorney, Brad Conway, was present.
yes,
You took an oath
yes,
to tell the truth,
yes.
the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Objection.
Right, a lock for outsiders, but family members could still have access to the
Sustained.
lock. I don't know
Rephrase
where
the
the
question.
key's held.
You took an oath to tell the truth, sir.
Yes,
And do you recall being asked a question by Mr. Ashton?
Same type and brand.
Now,
They
the
can
gas
import from the
can
same
appears
roll,
to
yeah.
have a piece of duct tape on it. Do you recognize that? And do you recall giving the following answer?
Okay, we're getting more information.
I didn't put the duct tape on there.
Oh, okay. That's where
okay,
we're
you
getting
can
at.
clarify this right now. This gas
My
can,
question, sir, is, do you recall making that statement?
Interrupted.
Sustained. Let him answer the question. Mr. Anthony, you may answer the question, sir.
I'm trying to clarify, this gas can was taken from my residence on 2 occasions.
Okay.
The second occasion that you're referring to, that it was taken, when I had seen the photograph of it, there was a larger piece of duct tape on there. I did not put that on there. If that's what you're talking about, sir.
Okay.
I'm referring to this piece of duct tape in the image standing, that is right before you, sir.
But sir, this is not the one that I was shown on August 5th of 2009. This is not the photograph that I was shown.
I think there's a different photograph where it's like
If I
zoomed
can
in,
have just a
no?
moment, Judge.
George is the keeper of the duct tape in the household.
Page 163, lines 8 through 20. Sir, do you recall the first? Yes, sir.
All right.
Objection is not an inconsistent statement.
Just a second.
Like how we're just staring at him.
Mr. Baez.
Mr. Baez.
It's giving the date there, Your Honor. May we approach? I
No.
think it's fairly clear.
Well, you can ask them a question about the date, but you don't need to read the deposition.
Do you recall?
Remember this image that y'all keep referring to.
Oh, true. George did say that the lock was broken. That's right. You're right. You're right. Okay. But, you know, it's possible that she had access to it with the key or she broke into it to make it seem like it was stolen. I don't know. This bitch has got to look kind of crazy sometimes, right?
It's not in evidence.
Yes, sir.
Oh, shit. He's about to get... Oh, my God. It's not in evidence. He's going to get lambasted. Let me bast him.
So it's kind of hard to question somebody about something that's not in evidence at this time.
At this time, yes, sir.
Oh, but it's about to be in evidence.
Proceed.
Mr. Anthony, were you not advised that this photograph that's in front of you was identified with the date?
Stop. Can we approach? Hell no.
During your deposition? Again, sir, this particular image of this particular photo was not shown to me in your presence and in the state attorney's presence on the August 5th of 2009. This was not shown to me.
Okay.
There was another photograph of a gas can that could have been this one that was more filthy dirty because of because of powder from like fingerprints and stuff like that, and a larger piece of duct tape being on it. This is not the one that I was shown in August 5th, 2009.
Are they going to enter into evidence?
May I proceed, Judge?
You may proceed.
Do you recall being asked a question by Mr. Ashton? This photograph was taken on August 1st.
Same objection.
May I finish the question?
Approach, folks.
I want to see the sidebar so bad. Just the body language. We don't need it here. Just the body language.
You may proceed.
Yes, sir. Mr. Anthony will return to this photograph at a later time.
Objection to counsel's editorial commentary.
Overruled. Let's proceed, gentlemen.
Now,
Okay, we're moving on. Don't worry. Jose says this will be back. This won't go anywhere.
Mr. Anthony, was it your testimony? Well, let me ask you this.
Yes.
When you gave the
Comer,
gas
yes.
cans to the police on August 1st, did the gas cans have duct tape on it?
Wait, I'm sorry. What did he say? Shit.
When you gave the gas cans Was it your testimony? Well, let me ask you this. When you gave the gas cans to the police on August 1st, did the gas cans have duct tape on it?
Again, you're asking for cans. Be specific and say a can, or give me a description, sir. I'll help you any way I can.
The cylinder gas can that you've had for 20 years, that is almost a part of you, when you gave them that gas can, did it have duct tape on it?
Well, this photograph shows it for August 1st of 2008. Yes, it shows that it's on there.
So is that your testimony today, sir?
Yes.
My question is though, why did George tell? Oh, because like there, I guess he was just trying to tell the police the interaction he's had with his daughter in the past like month or so, and then it was brought up like, oh, you know, she did steal gas from me a couple weeks back, and they're like, oh, can we have those gas cans? Like that's probably where the dialogue went, right? Because at this time they didn't know about the duct tape.
I refer counsel to page 210.
Hey Warren, how are you doing today?
Lines 1 through 11. Now, Mr. Anthony, the can that you are looking at right now, that's the one that's 20 years old and is sort of a part of you.
Did y'all hear anything that I said at sidebar?
Yes, sir. I'll rephrase the question.
Okay. Let's take the jury out.
Dude, he's like chill spicy. Look at him.
Maybe seated.
He is chill spicy. That's a new vibe for a judge right there. Chill spicy.
The can which you keep referring to as West Exhibit Number, Madam Clerk, for identification.
Your Honor.
Do not interrupt me, sir.
Oof. All right, guys, shut the fuck up. Y'all better shut the fuck up. He's talking right now.
AJ? Okay. State's Exhibit AJ is not in evidence, as I said at the sidebar conference. Until it's in evidence, you can't question somebody about a photograph that is not in evidence. The only questions that you could talk about are foundational questions.
Okay.
I don't know how many times I have to tell.
Yo, he about to lose it.
No. All I'm saying is move on to another area. It is not in evidence. When it goes in evidence, then you're free to question him, but the item has not been introduced. How are you going to question somebody about something that's not in evidence? You're questioning about a photograph that's not in evidence.
I would like to proffer to the court at sidebar or outside of the witness's presence how I intend on referring to this and
Sir,
how I intend to proceed.
I am not coming to sidebar on this item now. The one thing we can do is let you proffer Mr. Lazario's testimony, since I've taken the jury out at this time. As to that, Mr. Anthony, you can step down for the moment, sir.
Let's talk about this judge really quick. Let's see what the judge thinks about this trial years later. I have a couple articles that are up right now. I wanted to take some time and read it really quick. Let me zoom in really quick. Casey Anthony was more than likely the person who used too much chloroform that killed her 2-year-old daughter, the former judge who presided over the case told HLN on Thursday. Belvin Perry, retired Florida judge who is now an attorney, told HLN on the story that he thinks the death of Kaylee was a result of overdosing the child with chloroform. Yeah, that was also another method that someone theorized as well, or people theorize, which is banned in the U.S. as an anesthetic. It's quite evident that whoever did this more than likely may have been Casey, used too much chloroform, he said, pointing to high levels of chemicals in the trunk of the car. But he said he thinks the absence of evidence of AB leads to the conclusion that Kaylee's death in 2008 was purely accidental. During Anthony's trial, covered by media around the world, prosecutors alleged that she kayed Kaylee by using chloroform, covering her nose and mouth with duct tape, and that she put her body in the trunk of the car before dumping it in the woods. The defense says Kaylee drowned in the Anthony family pool in June 16, 2008, and that Casey Anthony and her father, George, covered up the death. What else did the judge say? Judge said, Casey, in the presence of the jury, was very calm, very easygoing, mild mannered, and a very sympathetic appearing person. When the jury wasn't in the room, she was very different. She was quite in charge, quite demanding, and quite manipulative, he said. Belvin did not fault the jury for their decisions. The former judge said that he found Anthony to have 2 different personas in court. One was that for the 12 people deciding her fate. Oh, very interesting. The jury did what the jury did, and there are various views as to how this evidence could have been perceived. Belvin said there was evidence for first-degree murder conviction, but it depended on the perspective. Look through the different lenses, he said. The evidence also supported a conviction for second-degree murder or for manslaughter. The jury could have said they didn't know what happened. Thus, there's a reasonable doubt. We don't know translates to not guilty. This is the one with 1117. This is back in November 8th. Okay, let's read this one because this, I think the judge commented on the doc that came out. The judge who presided in Casey Anthony's criminal trial isn't buying her latest explanation for the death of her daughter. Judge Belvin Perry Jr. tells TMZ he doesn't think Casey's version of events, namely that her father George was responsible for 2-year-old Kaylee's death, adds up based on what he remembers from the case. Perry Jr. thinks Casey's story hasn't been consistent and believes she was caught in a few lies that undermines her credibility. He says she blamed a babysitter for kidnapping Kaylee earlier. The judge also said there's some damning evidence, namely the smell of death inside Casey Anthony's car trunk at the time Kaylee disappeared. Judge Perry Jr., now retired from the bench, also notes that he has no hard evidence Kaylee drowned in the pool or that Kaylee's dad essayed her. Long story short, the judge also doesn't think her news story lines up with the facts of the case. Casey's detailing her blah, 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 blah. Okay, so here's what the judge thinks, okay, now, but let's watch.
Return, Mr. Lazario. No.
Who got to know?
I believe that Mr. Lazaro is currently here. He knows to come back.
Who told him to leave? I asked that he remain outside.
Uh-oh.
Your Honor, it was requested of me if they could get an early lunch. I anticipated not needing him before the lunch hour actually started, and I apologize.
Let me make myself abundantly clear. I asked him to remain outside. The defense had requested to proffer his testimony. So, don't do it again.
Don't do it again.
Yeah, Mr. George is just
he said in a
informing me that
sultry,
he left.
low voice with a little bit of spice to it.
Listen, the state intends to introduce this photograph. You didn't at the time.
Eventually, yes, sir. When it's properly authenticated, we have a full explanation of how it came to be.
Now what? Who goes up on
My
stand?
understanding as by way of proffer is that Mr. Anthony wasn't present when his photograph was taken. So,
Mr. Bias, you can question about cans all day long, but you cannot question him about that particular photograph, which is not in evidence. Okay, if anybody needs to take a break, you got 5 minutes to take a break. After that, we're gonna charge on through until noon. We'll be in a 5-minute recess.
This is an SOS from Novacorp.
There's a little bit left in this video, and I just want to see what's going to happen. Oh, man. Ooh. It's a spicy judge. Ooh. The judge gave an interview about the documentary series. There's a pinch of Palpatine in there. She went to jail to the trial. She was found guilty of false information to police and walked out in jail 2 weeks after the end of the court time served, and she walked out. Yeah, she's literally a convicted liar. How hilarious. All right. Oh, George is back on the stand.
Okay, you may proceed, Mr. Bass.
Yes, sir.
No gas tanks now.
Mr. Anthony, I want to ask you a question. I want to be clear about it, so I'm going to. It's going to be a little bit of a long question. So this jury can be absolutely certain.
I'm getting hungry.
The round cylinder gas can that you have had for over 20 years, when you gave it to law enforcement on August 1st, did it have a piece of duct tape on it?
Yes.
And you're 100% certain of that?
Yes.
True, Kay.
Okay. Now
Now what?
do you recall after your granddaughter was reported missing on the 15th,
Oh, we're finally moving on.
and your daughter was arrested on the 16th, correct?
Correct.
And on the 17th, a detective came back by the name of Appy Wells came to your home. Do you recall that?
So she arrested the first time for lying to the police. So this is the woman that led the cops on a wild goose chase, saying that Zanny the nanny kidnapped her daughter, took them to an apartment that no one had lived in for a while now, took them to Orlando Studios where she claimed that she worked, walked around the workplace acting like she knew people, waved to them. They looked at her like she was like who the fuck are you type of thing, but they politely waved back. And then she went into like a dead end to like try to find where her office was. And once she got to the dead end, she was like, okay, I don't really work here. Like, how embarrassing is that? Oh God, so embarrassing. Who does that?
Relates to the gas can.
Sustained, that wasn't a question about a gas can,
I'm getting there.
but it wasn't a question about the gas can. Sustained.
On July 17th, 2008, did
Yeah, I feel like the jury
Mr.
gave her way too much benefit of the
Detective
doubt.
Appy Wells search your shed?
I don't remember.
Do you remember Detective Appy Wells coming to your home the day after your daughter was arrested?
No, I do not.
Do you remember Detective Wells, you giving Detective Wells a tour of your backyard?
At some time, I'm sure I did. If you're asking for a specific date, I don't remember. Again, this is when everything was happening. We had so many people around us.
Do you remember if you opened the shed where these gas cans were held at any time for Detective Wells?
Not presumably him, but I know I opened the shed up within probably one of those first few days because we had the cadaver dogs at our house. We had law enforcement, media,
Very true, lady.
everywhere.
That shed where these gas cans are stored, how many shovels are in there?
Objection. Exceeds the scope of direct.
The shed has been brought up, Your Honor, and discussed during direct examination for a while.
Overruled.
How many shovels are in that shed?
3 or 4.
So you have 3 or 4 shovels in that specific shed?
Yes,
And would that these gas cans are stored in?
yes,
You also have expensive lawn equipment, right?
yes,
Mowers, weed eaters.
one mower, one, yes, I'll agree.
When you showed the shed to the detective or whomever you showed
Hi,
it to,
Dahlia. What's up? How
did
are
you inform them of the argument that you had with your daughter on the 24th?
I probably did share that with them. I don't know. I don't remember.
You don't recall, or you probably did. Can you give us a clear
I just
answer?
told you, sir, I don't remember if I did or not. There was just a lot of things that were talked about and shown.
The first night that that your granddaughter was reported missing, you spoke with detectives, did you not?
Not on the 15th, I did not, no.
You didn't speak to Detective Melich that evening or the early morning hours of the 16th?
On the 16th, I did.
And you told him about the smell of the car that evening, did you not?
Objection exceeds the scope of direct.
Sustained.
Did you tell Detective Melich about the gas cans and the argument you had where your daughter wouldn't let you near the trunk of the car when you spoke with Detective Melich that evening?
Objection, improper impeachment. I'd like to explain more at the bench.
Overruled.
I don't remember saying that to him, no.
What about the 16th? Did you talk to detectives on, I'm sorry, the 17th? Did you talk to detectives on that day?
I talked to Orange County Sheriff's detectives numerous
Thank you,
times that
Elron, for the
first
5.
week or
Thank
two.
you, thank you.
And in all of
All right,
those
chill
dates,
spices, I gotta go. See ya, no
who
one.
did you tell about this argument
I'm doing good. Thank you, thank you.
before the 31st?
Improper impeachment. And I would
Yeah,
like
thank
to
you, Elron. I really appreciate that.
Sustained.
Did you ever
Thank you
tell
for the super chat.
anyone from law enforcement prior to July 31st about
Okay.
the gas can fight with your daughter?
Objection, improper impeachment.
Not impeaching.
This is the same question
Overruled.
you asked earlier,
Ask the
right?
question.
I probably did in some course of one of those days. Possibly I did. I don't know. I don't remember of every bit of conversation I had with law enforcement, FBI. I don't remember all those things.
So you can't recall.
Answered at least 3 times. He does not remember. He can't recall. Move to another area.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Judge. Now what,
Now-
Jose?
Mr. Anthony, you've had the opportunity to sit in the courtroom throughout all the testimony, have you not?
Yes,
In fact, you asked your lawyer to.
Do not go there. Next question.
Oh my goodness.
You were specifically excluded from the rule of sequestration?
I has approached the sidebar.
Oh no, he's in trouble.
You may proceed.
Judge, I have no further questions of this witness at this time.
Okay. Witness may stand down. You have any redirect? Okay,
Yes,
you
sir.
may proceed.
Jeez, that's a tough judge. Hi, Mary. How are you doing today?
Mr. Anthony, the
We're finding that
the
out right
gas
now.
can that Mr. Bias
Oh,
spent
he went there.
a good deal of time talking.
Hey, Mary, how's it going today? We're watching the C. Anthony trial right now. We're revisiting it because I want to see what the dad said on the stand because there's a new documentary that's out and she is blaming everything on her father. A lot of people are calling BS and, I don't really get a good vibe from her. I do want to see what he says, though. I just want to see what my feel of him is right now.
Talking to you about that you
What's up, Mary?
gave to law enforcement on August 1st. Did they give that back to you the very next day?
it could have been the next day or the day after. I'm not really sure, but it was.
What, the gas tank?
The gas can that Mr. Bias spent a good deal of time talking to you about that you gave to law enforcement on August 1st. Did they give that back to you the very next day?
It could have been the next day or the day after. I'm not really sure, but it came back fairly quickly.
Salty Rider.
At the time
Is.
in July and August of 2008, did you have any idea that that gas can had anything to do with the death of your granddaughter?
No, I did not.
In December of 2008, did its importance become clear?
Objection, Justice, goes beyond the scope of cross-examination. We didn't discuss anything in December.
Overruled.
Could you ask
Sure.
that again, please?
In December 11th and thereafter, did the significance of that gas can become clear?
Yes.
Did you keep possession of that gas can from when they gave it back to you in August until they took it? I'm sorry, let me ask this question. Did they take it from you a second time in December?
Yes.
And did you keep that gas can in your shed along with all your other garden tools from August to December?
Yes.
On August 31st, when you mentioned to the FBI about this incident with the gas can, was that in the context of a several-hour interview about?
Overruled at this point. Let him finish answering the question. Mr. Anthony, do not answer the question until I instruct you to answer. You may continue.
Was the subject matter that the FBI talked to you about a very broad range of subject matters?
Is there an objection to the question as formed now?
Yes, Judge.
What is the objection?
Leading.
Overruled. You may answer the question.
Yes.
Did they ask you about everything that happened between June 16th and July 15th?
Yes.
And is it in the context of that you mentioned the incident of the 24th?
Yes.
June 24th of 2008.
We need a gas
Did
can
you believe
emote.
that your granddaughter was alive and well and being cared for by your daughter?
Yes.
Did you have any reason on June 24th to suspect that your granddaughter was either dead or missing?
No.
When did you first learn that what you thought on June 24th was wrong? That in fact, she wasn't in the care of your daughter?
On June 24th, I didn't see Kaylee with Casey.
But when did you first learn that there was a possibility that on June 24th, your granddaughter was at the very least not in the care and custody of your daughter?
Through conversation I had with my daughter that someone else was watching Kaylee.
That was then?
Yes, sir.
But you still thought that your daughter was aware of where she was?
Yes.
Did you learn on July 15th that what you had thought on June 22nd, 24th was in fact not the case?
That was not the case because Kaylee wasn't with us. Kaylee wasn't home.
I may have just a moment.
Okay, recrosses to those issues and those issues alone.
Oh, you get a recross? Really? Oh, interesting.
You knew on June 24th that these gas cans would become an issue in this case, didn't you, sir?
Objection argumentative.
Sustained.
Wait, how would he have
Not
known?
on June 24th.
Objection was sustained. Rephrase your
Wait, what
question.
was the question?
You know
What was
that
that
these
question?
gas
Sorry.
cans are a significant issue in this case, do you not, sir?
I do now.
And it was you who reported these gas cans missing on June 24th, knowing that your daughter had taken gas many times before,
Yes.
and knowing that you never even called your daughter to see if she had the gas cans.
That exceeds the scope of direct and asked and answered.
Sustain as the asked and answered.
Yeah, he already asked this.
But yet you sit here today, sir, and claim that when you reported these gas cans missing on June 24th, you had absolutely no idea that you would be reporting to the police about a piece of significant evidence in this case.
Objection. Argumentative, asked and answered.
Overruling and answered for the last time.
On the 24th of June, 2008, I did not know that a few weeks later that my granddaughter would be reported missing.
Because I guess, like, even if, let's say that, you know, even if it was an accidental drowning and George helped cover it up, what significance would the gas tanks have to George if that happened?
If that's answering your question, sir, that's the best I got at the moment.
Despite that you haven't seen your granddaughter in 9 days and she lived with you every day, right, sir?
Argumentative, asked and answered.
Sustain.
I'll withdraw the question.
Okay. Witness may stand down. Thank you, Mr. Anthony. Yes. State may call their next witness.
Thank you, Judge. The state would call Ricardo Morales.
And that exactly is a retired cop. You would think he would know where to hide the body better. You would think he would know that, hey, if there was an accidental drowning, it's okay to call the cops. It's okay to call the ambulance. It just does not make sense to me. Okay, so that is the second time that he goes up on stand. I think some of these are maybe like her friends. Surveillance video exhibits. Oh, this is when she goes to, I think this is like when she steals her friend's checkbook and goes shopping with it, right? How long was this? Is 40 minutes long?
This is an SOS from Nova.
Why is this 40 minutes long? Oh, here's a testimony of the mom. Definitely gonna have to watch the moms as well. All right, all Disney stuff. Casey sitting in court behind Jose at the far left of the table. Oh, now what? Hold on a second.
One time, or you want those read before you introduce the videos?
Jury sees multiple surveillance footage.
Your Honor, it might be a
of the
little
defendant.
cleaner or clearer if we were to do them one at a time.
It would be agreed to this fact.
Been told that this particular video will work, so I would ask that we go ahead and publish this one.
You may publish.
Thank you.
This is a stolen checkbook, right? What an idiot. Did she not think that cameras were going to catch her? And you're not even buying essentials. You're buying clothes. And if I remember correctly, this was during, I can't see the date, but I think this is during the time frame where her daughter was missing.
Of the business records of J.C. Penney's. The parties have agreed to this fact, and it should be considered as true in your deliberations.
Oh, is this a different day?
It's exhibit numbered.
This is what, Walmart or some shit?
This is an SOS from Nova.
Oh, you watched the trial the first go around. I just didn't see her. Thanks. Yeah, it's Casey. Standing in the back over there. Okay, so we have video surveillance. George comes up again. Let's see. Oh, this is 1 hour long with George. All right, we will probably revisit this a different day. So we have 1 hour with George. We have 3 different ones with Cindy, Anthony, and oh, this is the jailhouse calls. Definitely wanted to take a look at that. And then, yeah, I really wish that. Oh, I think I wanted to look at the not the investigator, but the one that the coroner. Oh, Cindy testifies again. Yeah, I really wish Casey went up on stand. I feel like she would have gotten destroyed. Oh, this is the brother, by the way. Ooh, all right. How is everyone doing so far? Ooh, we had a lot of stuff to cover today. Lots of stuff. But I think this is a good ending point. I think this is a good ending point right here. We've been streaming for like 2.5 hours right now. Well, actually, more than that because I forgot that I recorded late. If you missed the earlier streams, we went over some of the court documents with the Johnny Depp Amber Heard appeal that's going on right now. And then we watched the George Anthony on the stand. So if you missed it, don't worry about it. We will definitely. I'm gonna have the videos up on YouTube. You watched the Ortiz trial. What is that? Oh, the Border Patrol one? Oh, they already sentenced him? Oh, that's crazy. Oh, that's wild. Wait, how many? What do you get? Sentenced to life? Wow, that's crazy. I feel like the trial went by so quick. Two days in a row I caught you live. Hi, Amber. How you doing today? Hello, hello, hello. Why is she blaming him now for Kaylee? That's what I want to know. Was she trying to get some money from the dog? Does she want to be accepted into society now? Does she want to live like a normal life? Like, I'm very confused. Why even resurrect all this? But the fact that she's had 10 plus years to concoct a new story and this was the best that she can do, and it's still really inconsistent, I don't know. I don't believe her. When are we coming back on live? Hi, Eddie. Well, I'm actually going to go stream on Twitch right now. So twitch.tv/Corky-san with 2 A's. But in terms of YouTube, I think we're going to try to stream tomorrow. The reason why I've been doing recent streams because I have more of the Johnny Depp court stuff to go over. And then I do want to watch more of the Casey A trial stuff with her dad on the stand, the brother on the stand. So I do want to watch it. So if you guys want to join, join us tomorrow because we will be streaming tomorrow. I just don't know. Probably a little bit later though because we do have people coming over to help with the house cleaning stuff. But yeah, thanks for hanging out, guys. I hope you guys had fun. I'm going to go stream on Twitch. We're going to play a little bit of Overwatch. What is happening with Johnny, the PO? No, the PO is not over. It's in the very beginning stages. So the trial is over, but as far as the oh, hi Storm, thank you, I appreciate that. You want some Overwatch? Overwatch. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's the link right there. If you guys go on Twitch, if you follow Twitch, I just do some gaming on there. So if that's for you, feel free to stop by and come join us. I do have some games that I want to play. I'm really excited. We got some horror games, hoping to play soon, and then I do want to play a load of Overwatch. But yeah, thank you everyone for hanging out today. I hope you guys have fun. Enjoy your weekend. Happy Friday. If you're in the future, like in Europe or Australia, it's already Saturday for you. So I hope you guys have a good weekend. Take care. And I will hopefully be back again tomorrow on YouTube. And I will see you guys later. Have a great weekend, y'all. Hope to catch the live stream tomorrow. Yeah, thanks for hanging out. I do appreciate everyone here chatting. Thanks for keeping me busy. And if you're lurking as well, I do appreciate that. So please take care. Huge shout out to Comer. Thank you so much for the gifted memberships. We have people in the chat right now that do have a membership. You have the little cute baby corgi badge next to your name, and you can use the emotes. So if you were one of those people that got a membership, huge thank you to Comer. Also, huge shout out to everyone else that supported the channel today. I do appreciate you guys for the super chats, the memberships, and things like that. So thank you. I do appreciate that. But more importantly, I do appreciate those who are chatting and lurking in the channel. So thank you so much. Oh yeah, hit the like button. Hit the like button, guys. Thank you. Take care. And I will see you on Twitch if you want to stop by and say hi.